Welcome into Boulder, Colorado for this afternoon's MCLA matchup between your Colorado Buffaloes and the visiting GCU Lopes. I'm Joe Paris with Mitch Fenton. Mitch, a huge game this afternoon, number 1 versus number 5 in the country. It's going to be a fun matchup here at Kit Field.
And really a historic matchup. These are two perennial MCLA powerhouses that have never met in the regular season before, so it'll be really interesting to see how this one turns out.
GCU had a game against Colorado State earlier this week. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but first, let's get to our matchup of the game. Grand Canyon University has got one of the best attack front lines in the entire country. Today, Colorado's going to have to try and figure it out with their defensive core. And Mitch, I'm excited for today's matchup of the game. Jensen Makarov is going to have to be tearing it up for Colorado. He had a great weekend last weekend, doing a good job. But Mitch, today's big matchup of the game is going to get us forward to Jensen Makarov, and he's going to be highly contested against Carson Barton. Now, Barton is an attack who is a senior who has seen it all, and really through 7 games played this year, he has torn it up. He has 23 goals through 6 games, but Jensen Makarov on the other end, as you can see, 8 games played. He's got 91 saves, and Mitch, he's not doing a bad job following you.
Makarov having himself a great season already, and he's going to have to continue that pace if he wants to keep Barton at bay. Barton, a player who's really coming out to make a statement, had a tough go of it last year, suffering an early ACL injury, so really looking to come out this year and make a name for himself.
A year ago, GCU had a ton of injury problems. They were a preseason favorite, but after the injuries, they actually didn't even make the MCLA tournament. But let's talk a little bit about our Radio 1190 pregame news and notes. Last time out for the Grand Canyon Lopes, they played Colorado State 2 days ago. They won that game 16-12 in Fort Collins. That one was tight all the way through until the fourth quarter when GCU finally pulled away. And you guessed it, Carson Barton was the difference. 7 goals, 5 apples. Mitch, he's going to be a handful today for Colorado.
Just an outrageous performance for any individual player in a single lacrosse game, and really came out and had CSU on their heels, especially in the fourth quarter, and that's a big win for Grand Canyon, and they're coming into Boulder hoping to continue with that success.
Against CSU, Dean Farrell also added 4 goals, and the goaltender Brandon Shush had 4.78 save percentage. That is very, very good. Last time out for Colorado, you were with us last weekend. They took on Sonoma State. They won that one 15-4, running away after a tough game against Florida State. In that one, Johnny Clayton led the way for Colorado with 2 goals and assists. Riley Colm also scored 2 goals. 10 different Buffaloes scored that afternoon. It was a fun game, but Jensen Makarov put on quite a performance. He allowed 2 goals in essentially 3 1/4 play, and he's going to be the difference here this afternoon. The teams right now getting set to play. We're live at Kit Field in Boulder, Colorado. I'm Joe Paris alongside Mitch Fenton. It's going to be a lot of fun. And this is actually one of the best matchups all year that we've got on the schedule. Mitch, I can't really think of a more anticipated game since last year when Colorado took on then number 1 Arizona State University here at Kit Field.
And you know, Arizona State is the only other top 5 opponent that Colorado has seen yet this year. So Grand Canyon coming in ranked number 5, definitely ready to give the Buffs a run for their money out here on Kit.
Beautiful day locally. And you see about 70 degrees right now?
Whatever it is, I like it, Joe.
These two teams, a huge matchup this afternoon. If GCU could come away with a victory, it would mean that they would probably move up to the number 3 or number 2 spot in the country. Colorado, who has a tough weekend, will take on the Lopes this afternoon, and then they will take on the powerful Chapman Panthers on Monday.
Yeah, Chapman, I believe on the season is 8-1 right now. Their only loss coming to a renewed Arizona Wildcats team. The Wildcats having a great year for themselves and edging out a 1-goal win against Chapman. But other than that, Chapman having an extremely good season. They graduated a lot of talent, but they showed that they had a productive offseason and have had little trouble replacing those seniors.
There's been a lot of surprises across the MCLA this year, including teams that were expected to be very powerful like Michigan State and UCSB, but it's turned out a little bit different. Teams like the GCU Lopes and Colorado have come storming into the 2015 year, so a marquee matchup this afternoon. I know that we've got a lot of people around the country interested in this matchup, and Mitch, I am expecting really the highest level of lacrosse you can expect in the MCLA.
Yeah, this is going to be one of the better games we've seen all year, probably only comparable to the Colorado-Arizona State game that happened about 2 weeks ago.
There's a lot of questions coming into this year if Colorado's going to be able to stay on their high level of play, minus guys like, Mitch Fenton, Riley Siddell, Jack Cranston, Tyler Doherty, Christian Wilson. There's a lot of guys that graduated And there was a lot of holes on this team, but Coach Galvin and his staff has really put together a competitive squad with very little surprise.
It got talked about a lot in the offseason, a lot of the key role players that Colorado lost last year, both offensively and defensively, and there were certainly a lot of questions about whether they were going to be able to come back and make another championship run for the third year in a row, and really, again, another team that had a productive offseason. Coach Galvin wasting no time getting his boys acclimated to the culture that's been created here in Colorado and producing another stellar lacrosse team.
And I was talking with assistant coach Ben Wise before the game, and Ben said he's very excited for this matchup. It's going to be a high-powered affair, to say the least. These two teams love to run and gun. And Mitch, again, I know that there's a spring break atmosphere here in Boulder right now, but there is a lot of attention locally and nationally to this game. This could be a marquee game that you look back towards when the MCLA tournament's going on and say this was a difference maker. This was a turning point for either team. Both
teams hitting their strides towards the midway point of the season, neither one wanting to give up a loss to another ranked opponent, so get ready for a battle, Joe.
We are set to play in Boulder. Colorado does have a few minor injuries this afternoon. Jay Scan tweaked his hamstring. He is dressed and available for this afternoon. We'll see if he goes. Kerry Garfinkel, the other injury for Colorado, he is not going to probably play this afternoon. So we're going to see a different 5 attackmen out for Colorado. We're going to see some of the freshmen get a chance.
And it looks like number 22, Carter Escada, getting one of his first starts of the year.
So we are set to play. Referees are going to check in across the field. Modest crowd. It is, again, spring break in Boulder. A lot of guys get out of town, but we've got some good action for you here.
Having some clock problems early, it looks like, Joe.
Yeah, we are. I don't know. I'm not sure what the deal is with the clock. It isn't a standard Daktronics clock, as I was explaining to someone else earlier today. This is a custom clock built just for the University of Colorado. And we are finally set to go here. Lopes, Buffaloes, live at Kit Field. Joe Paris and Mitch Fenton with you. Clark Salami will try to wrap up on the face-off, and we are underway. Thanks for joining us in Boulder, Colorado. It's the GC Lopes and the University of Colorado Buffaloes. And Mitch, getting off early, what do you expect to see from Colorado?
Talking with Coach Wise before the game, he said that this game is going to involve a lot of transition play up and down the field. And as you see, Colorado catching Grand Canyon in an offsides call there as they applied pressure with their 10-man ride. But really look for a lot of up and down the field, fast-paced offense, especially out of the gate.
It'll be a turnover right off the bat for Colorado. Goaltenders this afternoon, Brandon Shushand for the GCU Lopes. And for Colorado, it'll be Jensen Makarov. Lopes will bring it up. It's Eli Sason. Sason goes behind the net. Will be worked around to Ryan Essex. Lopes have a high-powered offense. They ran into a much different team as the shot on net is just wide. Makarov got a piece of it. He's got now in his net. He'll send it up the field for Colorado. GCU took on Colorado State a few days ago, and they ran into a much different style. CSU more of a grind-them-out type game. They weren't looking to run with GCU, but it'll be much different this afternoon. Colorado looking to run. Riley Colm will throw a shot on net, and that one goes wide. Carter Escada will go back it up. Escada will trot it in. He'll send it across to Colm. We're seeing Clayton out there to start with Colm, Escada, as well as Hart Wise. Wise was starting at the beginning of the year, but that's Mitch Erickson. He'll send one on net, and a good high save from Shushand.
That's a really confident save, no problem. Right at his chest, just kind of pops it in the air and gets it out to his team.
Austin Eckroth will work it across. Colorado with their aggressive 10-man ride has gotten them troubles at some time, but creates turnovers on others. It's kind of really a 50-50 split for Coach Galvin's 10-man ride. We're seeing it almost work here. It'll be advanced up here by the Lopes. Austin Eckroth will send it over. It'll be picked off, and Colorado will bring it the other way. It's Riley Colm. Colm will be chased down by Nolan Gurman. A shot on net, and he scores! Colorado will start things off hot. 12:49 remaining in the first quarter, and the Buffs have scored. It's Riley Colm, and we are underway. Mitch, this is going to be a game that I think is going to be very high scoring.
And it looked like Riley got the assist there, moved the ball over to John Clayton at the point, who had a good step-down shot. And that's the reason you see Colorado jump into that 10-man ride. For as many times as it does break down and the offense gets a clear, it's those 2 or 3 possessions a game that you get out of it and the 1 or 2 goals that you can get off of those extra possessions.
So Clayton will get the goal from Colm, a quick pass. Sent right over the shoulder of Shushand, and it's 1-0 Colorado. Mitch, you have the feeling that it's going to be a lot of transition game today. These two teams are very quick.
Two high-powered offenses, a lot of shooting. Get ready for a high-scoring game.
A great face-off win. It'll be pushed up now to Nate Whitfield. Whitfield will bring it up, fires one that goes wide. Ryan Northup is there for the backup. Comes right in front, shot, score. A quick goal for the Lopes. That one's going to come right over the shoulder. I'm looking at my roster. 24 is not Joe Balistrieri. He is not on this squad anymore, so we're going to have to figure out who number 24 is.
Tweet us in if you know what his name is.
Tweet us in. This roster is incorrect. Brandon Shushan, who is the goaltender, is listed as 32, but I know he wears 29 for the Lopes. So tweet us in at Joe Paris at Mitchie_Bags if you know who the correct members of these GCU Lopes are. But either way, it's 1-1, 12:35 remaining in our first quarter. 24 did get the goal for the Lopes. GCU will win another faceoff. Trevor Brown will bring it into the offensive half. He'll send it over to Eli Sason.
Zach Doss doing a great job of just forcing his attackman out of bounds to regain possession for the Buffaloes.
Doss had a huge weekend against Florida State and Sonoma on the defensive core. He and Zane O'Brien really connecting down low with a lot of good communication. You saw a little bit of direction from the goaltender Makarov, but I mean his defensive core knew where to be.
Yeah, Zane and Doss both great players. Zach Doss coming from the East Coast, really smart, that lacrosse IQ that you hear everyone talk about. Him and Zane both, but really good assets to have down on the defensive end of the ball.
We're going to get offsides on Colorado, so it'll be GCU ball. Doug Graves brought it over. A little bit of miscommunication early for the Buffs.
And that's just a mental mistake coming from Colorado early on in the first quarter.
Colorado with the aggressive ride will force a turnover. It'll come to Eric Isaacson.
And so far it seems like Grand Canyon is having a little bit of trouble adjusting to the high-pressure 10-man ride.
Clayton sends one on net and a good save there by Shushan. He was trying to go low, but the goaltender got the net in the way. Fast the other way is Nolan Garman. Garman, the LSM will play it off to the right to Eli Sason. Sason will be picked up on defense. It's Zach Dawes. Dawes and Sason will battle down on GLE. It'll be pushed up top now. Broken in front, underhand shot is off the mark from Keeson Sackett. And the ball's going to be whistled down. We're going to get a referee's whistle. It'll be Colorado possession. Not sure about the call there. I missed that one.
Missed that one as well, Joe.
So Connor Irvin will take it for Colorado. Lopes with a less aggressive ride. Colorado's going to have a little bit of time. Florida State really actually flustered Colorado with their very aggressive ride. Colorado ran into a lot of problems with it in the first half and really couldn't get clicking because of it.
Early on in that game, it became evident that Florida State had done an exceptional job scouting that 10-man ride and really learning where they needed to be and where the looks were and how to beat it.
Ryan Stoll will take it in behind the net. He'll look out to Clayton. He wants to isolate and go one-on-one. He shoots it on net, and it was a very slowed-up shot. The defenseman got a piece of it. It was Tim Manahe. So the Lopes will bring it up. A good push from the back.
And again, the 10-man ride coming up huge for the Buffaloes.
And it was Roland Sloss that broke it up. He'll come down to Clayton. He'll look to roll back door. He's got Escada behind him. Escada wants to fire one. He'll fake it. Goes right back to Clayton.
That's a great two-man play.
Clayton looks back to Escada. Colorado will space it out and get the rotation offense going. Stoll looks towards the net. Tries to dodge, backs his man down, turns around, throws it on net. That was a sloppy attempt.
It's like caught some stick on the way through there.
Stoll will come and pick it up. Rather, it will be Clayton. Clayton will look over to Doug Graves. 10:19 remaining in our first quarter. 1-1 game. He'll be worked around. He comes to Ryan Stoll. Stoll will go one-on-one with Tim Manahe. He'll try to back down the lower defenseman. He'll send it behind to Clayton. Clayton couldn't quite catch that one up. He'll scoop it off the ground and go to work on Cody Clark. Clark the long pull, forces a pass. Comes into Escada, who couldn't quite pick it up, and it'll be brought the other way now by the Canyon Lopes. It's Whitfield. Whitfield will leave Doug Graves down in the dust, and we're going to get a whistle. And it's going to be timeout on Grand Canyon. So a fast start, 1-1 game. We're in for a fun one.
Absolutely, and if Grand Canyon can settle down a little bit on their ride and start to give their offense a couple more possessions, you'll probably see their offense start to open up a little bit. So far for Colorado, they've taken a couple outside shots that have hit some traffic on the way through and haven't quite gotten all the way to the net, but look for them to settle down a little bit and maybe be a little bit more patient and find those crease looks.
I know the Doss family is watching from home as well as the Sloss family, so thanks for tweeting in. Make sure to tweet in during the entire broadcast at Joe Paris. We'll get your comments and thoughts on this afternoon's high-powered game. Use the hashtag GoBuffs or the hashtag GoLopes. We'll see who we've got watching from home fan-wise. I know we've got parents from around the country. A very diverse roster. A year ago, Mitch, you were part of a team that had guys from every corner of the United States.
Yeah, 15 or 16 different states during my senior year, and that just shows the impressive job of recruiting that our coaches do. They work pretty hard all summer just to introduce the MCLA to some recruits that otherwise might be headed to an NCAA program and show them that there's another venue to play some great lacrosse at here in Boulder.
A beautiful day at Kit Field. A little bit windy, but temperatures expect to be in the 70s this afternoon. It'll be almost a picture-perfect day. I'm looking forward to Monday's game against Chapman. Colorado will see about the same temperature as well. So a little bit of a spring fever coming across Boulder as spring break commenced. There's 30,000 students at the University of Colorado, and Mitch, it feels like 28,000 of them have gone out of town.
You know, the only people that you're going to see here over spring break really are athletes. The women's lacrosse team is here as well as the women's varsity team, the men's club lacrosse team. So you see the sports team sticking around trying to use spring break to travel or to get some good homestands in.
And we are back underway. It's Eli Sason. Sason will send it in behind the net. And a quick goal off the stick of Ryan Northup beats the goaltender Makarov, and it's 2-1 GCU.
That's another goal coming from the inside. Colorado's got to lock it down on defense and keep it a little bit tighter.
9:39 remaining in our first quarter. 2-1 in favor of the GCU Lopes. Sporting their black and purple this afternoon. Colorado, the home gold. GCU only was carrying black jerseys for this road trip, so Colorado, who usually likes to go all black at home, couldn't do that this afternoon.
I can say from experience the team certainly prefers the all-black look, but you do what you have to do to accommodate the visiting team.
Wrap up on the face-off. GCU has won 3 in a row. Make that 4 face-offs in a row. The LSM face-off specialist Trevor Brown is crushing it in there this afternoon. He's playing with a short stick though today. It'll be brought in from Whitfield. Put it in behind, shot on net, and another quick goal. That one's going to come from Sason, and it's 3-1 Lopes.
That's great transition offense coming from Grand Canyon, just moving the ball down the side and finding that inside crease look.
Colorado is all of a sudden being caught a little slow. Grand Canyon has come out firing. They look like they're already in top gear, and it's only early first quarter action. Three to 1. 9:22 remaining in our first quarter. Buffs and Lopes. Salami will try to pick that draw up, but GCU will win another one. They've won 5 in a row. And they'll score a goal right off the face-off. It'll be Sackett Keeson, and all of a sudden, Colorado trails 4-1.
And the Buffs defense just looks stunned right now, not really sure what's breaking down or what's going wrong, but Grand Canyon keeps getting these great looks off a transition and off the face-off.
And I know that we don't have our rosters correct. I know Carson Barton's got to be out there. I don't see a 41 on the field, though. Number 22 is Drew Zadek. We're getting in all the tweets now to figure out our roster, so here we go. 22 is Drew Zadek. 24 is Carson Barton. 11 is Dean Farrell. Okay.
Clark Salami finally coming up with a face-off there, and that could be a big swing for the Buffs.
If I could get a fan at home to also tweet in who number 1 is, that would be much appreciated. Colorado unable to do anything on the offensive end. Mitch, they look puzzled.
Yeah, again, that's another outside shot coming from Colm, and maybe not the worst time to take a shot, but stick-side high is not the place that you want that ball to end up.
Colorado's trying to get out of town here. They're scrambling as Makarov will come out of the net to make that play. It'll be poked away from him, straight up out of the air. It'll be picked up by the Lopes. It'll be Ron Hamway. Hamway will bring it into the half. He'll be slashed at, though, by Doss. Doss doing a good job. He'll try to push over Barton. Carson Barton will take it out. He'll swing it back as we're getting a gust of wind coming in now. Because that's coming in from the east at the backs of the Lopes. Chris Holland will take it at midfield. He'll draw Erickson momentarily before he'll trot back. 7:55 remaining here in the first quarter. 4-1 Lopes.
And it looks like Colorado has jumped into their base zone look, trying to take a little bit of the edge off of this potent Grand Canyon offense.
It'll be worked around. It'll come to Ryan Ferguson. Ferguson will send it in behind. That'll be Northup. Holland to the left side. Now we'll find Barton. Barton comes to the near side. It's Zadek. Drew Zadek will work off of two Buffalo defenders. Ferguson comes back up top to Eckroth. 7:14 remaining in the first quarter. 4-1 Lopes. They look like they're content to slow things down right now with a 3-goal lead. Zadek still with it. He'll send it over to Carson Barton. Barton, a powerful offensive player, maybe the best attack in the entire MCLA. Will go right at Combe. He'll work around him. He's got some speed coming around the edge. Wants a shot, comes in behind to Farrell. Farrell can't quite sneak it home. He'll come out of bounds.
And Grand Canyon's been called in the crease. It'll be Buff's ball.
So Colorado needs a goal here. Slow start for the powerful Buffaloes offense. They're just not getting those looks. They feel a little bit frustrated out there. This unit hasn't really worked together that much. With the injuries to Colorado, we're seeing a much different attack core. It'll be Jay Snell. The sophomore will come in with some speed. He'll run into a defenseman. Overthrows Erickson by about 4 feet over his head. There'll be a battle at the midline. It'll be poked. And I think we're getting offsides on GCU. So it'll be Colorado that'll maintain possession. A good break for the Buffs. Doug Graves. Graves wants a shot. He'll go high. Shushin beat him there, but the ball was about 4 feet over the crossbar. They'll be backed up, though, by Colorado. They'll maintain possession. Snell will throw it in.
Number 11, Ben Wharton, has checked in on the offense for Colorado.
Wharton's first action of the afternoon will come to Graves. Graves will look towards Wharton. He'll spin around a defender. Graves will back off, try to get a pick off of Wise. Instead, he'll go over to Stoll on the right side. Graves tries to throw one on net. He goes for the bounce angle. The geometry was just off on that one as it bounces wide. It'll come to Johnny Clayton with 5:43 remaining in the first quarter. Clayton will back up. Graves will take it in. Try to play behind the defender, Mahaney. Comes behind now. In front, Stoll fires, save. Shushin was there waiting for it. Wasn't a great angled shot for Stoll. He basically shot it right into the med-section of Shushin.
Another confident save for the Grand Canyon goalkeepers, having a great afternoon so far.
The sophomore Brandon Shushin is looking sharp this afternoon. The goaltending is going to be the difference in this game with the two powerful offenses. It'll be the Lopes, though, that have got it again. It's Keeson. It'll be sent up top. It's Tyler Eckroth. Eckroth fires to the left, receives a return pass. He'll work around a defender, comes into the slot. Shot on net was broken up, and a good save there by Makarov. Connor Irvin got a piece of that one, slowed it up on the second attempt, so Makarov had a good shot at saving that one. Meanwhile, Colorado brings it down. Coming around the end is Clayton, who tries to bounce one in, but Shushin is there waiting for it. It'll be twirled away, and again, here come the Lopes. 4:30 remaining in the first quarter. Mitch, it seems that the offense for Colorado isn't clicking. What do you think the problem is?
Yeah, they're really puzzled right now. It looks like they're taking the outside shots that the defense is giving them. That's a shot coming from Clayton in transition that may not be very advisable. If you're going to take a shot in transition, there's usually a rule, corner or miss. You can't let the goalie make a save like that and just send the ball back down the other way and get the defense on their heels again. So Colorado's offense, it seems like they really need to slow the ball down right now and just have an extended possession.
And a great save by Makarov, looking to go high. He flashed the stick there, and a big save for Makarov. He's made a few saves here in the last few minutes that have really kept this game stable. It's 4-1 Lopes. Makarov, who's comfortable coming way out of the net, will find Riley Colm. Colm will burst onto the scene. He'll draw Zadek. He'll work past Zadik, though, and Colorado will advance it into the offensive half. They've got 3:40 remaining in this first quarter at a 3-goal deficit. It's to Doug Graves, to Ryan Stoll. Stoll will work around, fires one that goes outside. Knocked down, will be a race to the ball. McElvain will get it there, and a great pick up there, beating Shushan. Comes in front to Colm. Colm to Clayton, he fires and he scores!
It's good ball movement coming from the Buffs. Colin McElvaney doing a great job picking the ball up on the outside while under pressure. Moved the ball, got it to Clayton, and the Buffs put one on the net, or put one on the scoreboard.
So Clayton will cut this lead in half. He's got a pair with 3:24 remaining in our first quarter. It's 4-2. Salami will come out to take the draw. As we saw in the MCLA tournament, as it was highlighted throughout the entire tournament at every game, the face-off department in a high-powered matchup like this is the bottom line.
Yeah, being able to get those extra possessions for your team is a huge advantage for any one side. So Grand Canyon's been pretty dominant in the face-off game thus far, and you see them win another one there. So we'll see if they can continue that streak.
Trevor Brown in the face-off circle has done absolutely brilliant here in this first quarter. Salami only picking up a few wins, and that's the difference right now is the LSMs and the face-off specialists out there. Shushan will take it all the way out towards midfield. He'll fire one high, and that's going to come out of bounds, so it'll be a turnover as the ball will collide into a minivan in the parking lot.
And one thing to note about those face-off wins is that any ball that Grand Canyon wins back to their own defensive end, the Buffs are just jumping right away into that 10-man ride and forcing turnovers on probably about half of the occasions. So while the face-off game is becoming evident, the possession game seems to be about pretty equal thus far.
Graves spins around, fires one sidearm. That one goes just wide. It'll be backed up by Colorado. Blake Irwin was waiting for it. Irwin will trot it back into play. He looks to Snell and said he's going to isolate. Works towards GLE. Loses his footing and will get Clayton out top. Clayton dodges around a man, shoots one low, and I think that might have snuck in, and it did. John Clayton's got 3 goals in the first quarter, and he is the difference right now. 4-3, the Lopes lead. And the first quarter hat trick, though, for Clayton.
And the keeper got a good piece of that one. That's a frustrating goal to let in, but Clayton doing a good job getting some separation, coming back to his offhand and just finishing a shot.
Number 1 is Chris Holland. Thank you for sending that in, Timmy Manahe. Not sure why the roster was so off. I went through it before the game with the assistant coaches, and they didn't say anything about it.
The last game I called, the Florida State roster was off as well, so we gotta figure something out with these rosters, Joe.
We're gonna have to figure this out. This is the great roster fiasco of 2015. Colorado will finally try to pick up a draw. They had it momentarily. It'll be broken up. We're gonna get a push. We've also got an injured Buff down on the play. It is Sam Banks who is down. The junior midfielder is holding his arm as Jacqueline, the athletic trainer for Colorado, will run out as he's nursing his right arm. It looks like he kind of got whacked in on the shoulder.
Yeah, definitely took a hit off the shoulder there, but Banks is a tough kid. You see him pop up and at least walk off onto the field under his own power.
I also want to clarify, is number 39 Sackett Keeson? Anyone out there? Because I know 39 has been tearing it up in the face-off department for the Lopes this afternoon, so he definitely deserves some credit, as 38 is Cody Clark. Glad this is coming up now. 15 is Lucas DeYoung. And we're back into action. Thank you to Timmy Manahe. Really appreciate you tweeting in the correct roster. Mahaney. Got that wrong. Sorry, Ansley. You got it right. Camera lady Ansley got me on the misread. I can't read my own handwriting. 2:15 remaining in the first quarter. 4-3 game. We're getting the wrinkles out here in the broadcast booth, and so are the Buffs on the field. Guess we took a little bit of an early spring break, right, Mitchie?
Very true. And Colorado again in their zone look. Grand Canyon looks content to slow the ball down and find the holes in this really good zone defense.
It'll come in behind to Farrell. Farrell will look to the near side. It's Zadik, and they fire it home. GCU strikes right back.
Aaron Isaacson just running out, losing his footing on that one. This tough break for the Buffs as Grand Canyon just had an easy step-down shot.
So Drew Zadik will send it home. That'll make this game 5-3. So Lopes will inch back ahead. Zadik has got 3 on the afternoon.
Two first quarter hat tricks. in this one. That's a good showing offensively, Joe.
You know, it was Farrell and Barton, who I know Colorado wanted to key in on, but Zadek now is stepping up as Colorado's done a good job sealing those two off.
Well, when you have as many weapons as Grand Canyon does, it's really hard to contain an offense like that.
39 is Josh Gruel, who has been tearing it up in the face-off department. We're getting a lot of yelling here at the referee as Colorado's going to try and work it off into the offensive half. It'll be thrown away, though. It'll be Chris Holland who picks it up for the Lopes. Holland will work it over midfield. Quick play now for the Lopes. We'll bring it into the near half. Shot, score. It's Tim Manahe who sends that one home, and it's 6-3. The Lopes all of a sudden some inspired offense after quick goals from Colorado. Colorado looking puzzled to say the least right now, Mitch.
Yeah, especially on defense, Joe. The shots are just falling. We haven't seen Makarov come up with a save and a couple shots, and it's really starting to become apparent at the end of this first quarter that Grand Canyon came to play.
Gruel with another great win. He's going to work it off. Gruel's been a one-man show. He'll pass it off to the left side. Fired by Barton. That one's blocked in front. And a huge play from Colorado. After, though, we're going to get a push on the Buffs. Taking a little bit of a liberty there for Colorado after the injured arm was Sam Banks. So we'll stay here with the Lopes. A mental breakdown there for Colorado.
With a minute left, I wouldn't be surprised to see Grand Canyon sit back and maybe look for the last shot of this quarter.
They have a 3-goal lead here in the first quarter. Surprises across the board, both in the broadcast booth and on the field. Looking here at the attacks for Colorado, hands on their hips, they look a little flabbergasted to say the least. Cody Clark will pass it off. Coming around will be Zadek. And another goal for the Lopes.
And that's a breakdown in the zone defense for the Buffs. They didn't have that backside rotation coming across the crease, and there was just a man wide open on the backside.
That's Ryan Northup. Dean Farrell. And Farrell, the leading scorer for this GCU squad, has fired him up, and it's now 7-3. Colorado didn't even let up 7 goals in any of their games really this year. And all of a sudden, this defensive breakdown is coming out of a very untimely situation.
Yeah, the highest scoring game coming from Florida State, as a matter of fact, and after that it was Arizona State. But those were all back and forth contests. Nothing like this where you saw the Buffs down by 4 at any one point.
Colorado hasn't really faced a challenge like this year. As a great spin out. We'll see Blake Irwin break it in. He throws one on net, though, and it's blocked. 25 seconds. Esqueda will break free. Last off of Colorado, so we'll stick with the Lopes. Colorado's already got to be thinking of what adjustments they're going to make in the second quarter. There's a lot of lacrosse to still be played this afternoon. But the Buffs already have digging themselves a hole as the clock has finally started there a few seconds late. This actually might help out Colorado as it's Justin Ruck. Ruck, though, has it taken away from behind. Lucas DeYoung works it off into the near half. It'll be Barton. Barton's going to draw a flag there on the play. So a free possession for the Lopes, and it'll be finally touched up by Colorado. It's Connor Irvin with 3 seconds remaining. So it's going to be the Lopes who are going to start the second quarter man up.
And look for them to just hold it for the last 3 seconds of the first quarter and start the second with possession.
7-3, 3 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Fans here attending at Kit Field are quiet.
We got a tweet coming in here from Christian Wilson. Do you think the absence of Gann is hurting the Buffs? And I would have to say yes, Joe. He's a senior leader out there, and you got Carter Esqueda, who's a talented guy, but coming in as a freshman without too much time this season, and really is showing out there.
The Lopes will hold on, and that'll be the end of our first quarter. At the end of one, it's 7-3 in favor of the Lopes. I will say that Gann is dressed. I can see him across the field right now, number 7. He's standing on the edge of the bench. And you know that he's chomping at the bit right now. He wants to get in there. And I was talking with assistant coach Ben Wise that he is available for this afternoon's game, but he doesn't want to set back his rehab from his hamstring.
And that's always the risk you run. Obviously, Gann would rather be out there running around with his teammates, making a difference for them. But at the end of the day, there is a whole other half of the season and then the postseason to consider. So if sitting out 1 or 2 games means that Gann is going to come back and be healthy, then I think that's the option that the Colorado coaches will choose. But who knows moving forward if the Buffs continue to slide like this, if they will try and put their senior leader back in to try and make something happen.
Got some Twitter mailbag. We got a tweet coming in from Jim Farrell. He says Dean Farrell's dad watching from Ontario, Canada, and his uncle Ian watching from Aberdeen, Scotland. Thank you for the broadcast. Our pleasure, Jim. Shout out to Canada. I know that we've got a lot of Canadian players across the MCLA. Only one Canadian team, that's Simon Fraser.
Great to hear from our fans abroad, though.
It is. Lacrosse was actually originally started by Native American tribes in Canada. And Mitch, this is a really good time for me to give a little bit of a history lesson. The rules for lacrosse were actually created back in 1794 when 2 tribes of Native Americans, the Seneca and the Mohawks, played a game. And for the longest time, lacrosse was just used as a tool to toughen up young men for war. And they finally decided back in the late 1700s, maybe we should have some rules for this game.
Yeah, always interesting to hear about the origins of lacrosse, and that's the line that you hear a lot, or when war is not violent enough, or when war is coming, real men play lacrosse, and that's a pretty cool quote. I like to hear things like that, and it really shows out here in a game like this, guys running around, being physical, playing hard, and playing for what they believe in.
The Native Americans would originally play on fields that were literally miles long. There was hundreds to thousands of players on each team. Games would go on for days at a time, and it wasn't until the 1800s when the French quote-unquote civilized the game with more structured, smaller fields and more gear. But the game of lacrosse, which is called affectionately the fastest game on 2 feet, has come a long way since the 1700s. The original origin for lacrosse is still a mystery of who the first people to play it were, what kind of game it looked like, but it's really evolved, I think, over the last few hundred years into one of the greatest sports in the entire world.
Wherever it did originate and whoever it originated with, we're certainly happy for their efforts because it means we get to come out here on beautiful days and do things like this, Joe.
There's even a town in Michigan, Lacrosse, Michigan, that was inspired by this game. Lacrosse, Michigan, home of 51,000 proud citizens.
I did not know that, Joe. I did not know it was named after the sport.
So 15 minutes up on the clock. Second quarter, it's 7-3. The Lope will start man up. Mitch, what kind of adjustments are you looking for in John Galvin's squad here?
I'm really looking for the offense to slow it down. They took a lot of shots in transition. Some of them were questionable, some of them a little bit better, but really just better shot selection from their offense.
Makarov making a great shot off the bouncer from Zadek. He struggles to pick it up. And Jensen Makarov will pick it up. So Colorado here looking like they're going to kill off this man up if they can clear.
And that definitely looked a little awkward, but Jensen was doing a good job of using his body to protect the ball from the 2 attackmen who were sitting there ready to rake it out if he gave them any room.
Colm will flip it to Clayton. Clayton will send it across now to Colin McElvaney. McElvaney, who had an inspired weekend last weekend against Florida State, against Sonoma, really looked good. I mean, he's a freshman, but he hardly looks like it.
Colin's a big-time player, knows what he needs to do to get space, and loves to shoot the ball.
Great swim dodge there. Crowd enjoying that one. It comes behind now to Hart Wise. Wise, another freshman. Sorry, he's a sophomore on this team. Another young guy from this core of new fellows on the attack squad for John Galvin's squad. A year ago is Riley Siddell, Tyler Doherty, Jack Cranston, and now a year later, much different.
Yeah, interesting to note that the entire starting attack line today was not the starting attack line last year. We graduated 3 of our top attackmen, but these young guns are coming out here and doing a great job.
And John Clayton with a ridiculous shot, fading away off the left foot. That'll be his 4th of the afternoon, the 4th goal for Colorado, and it's 7-4.
That's how they tell you to shoot it, Joe. He didn't have the most mustard on that shot, but placed it extremely well, right off hip on the goalie, and it just ended in a goal.
I mean, he is a big-time player, Johnny Clayton.
And does he have all of the Buffs goals, Joe?
All 4 for Colorado. Clayton actually the only member of the University of Colorado Buffaloes that played in the World Lacrosse Games, basically the World Cup of Lacrosse that was held here in Denver. Lacrosse really sprouted up across the country, but Denver was host of the World Lax Games, and Clayton played for New Zealand, his home city. Solani does a good job to flip it over, and the Buffs will finally get a face-off. Zane O'Brien will move it forward to Clayton. Clayton's feeling it. He'll handle with one hand. Clayton's one of those guys where if he gets in a groove, No matter what, it's hard to seal them off.
A goal on this possession could be really big for Colorado. Bring them back within 2, and they've put a little bit of a cap on that momentum that Grand Canyon had at the end of that first quarter.
Stoll will break in with some speed. He's got a straight shot to the net. He'll pass it up. He'll carry it behind to X. He'll look over to Esqueda. Esqueda cuts in front. No passing lane open, so Stoll will have to flip it across the formation now to Graves. Graves will draw the long stick defender. Draw a double team, so he'll get rid of it behind a Wise. Wise will go to work. He looks in front to Clayton. Comes to Stoll instead. Stoll comes back door. Shot on net is a good save there by Shushan. But Snell will stick with it. Sent behind to X. We're going to see a flag on the play. Esqueda drew a little bit of a slash, it looked like, so Colorado got a free possession. Ryan Stoll will take it. He's got a lane. He'll fire one, and a save by Shushan will bounce back out. The Lopes will control it. They picked up the flag, it looks like, Mitch.
Joe, I believe what you saw flying through the air was a football, actually.
Was that a football? It looked like a flag.
I believe so.
I saw a flag. Wow, okay, it was a football out of the corner of my eye. That was weird. Did you see that too? It looked like a flag was thrown up.
I looked as soon as I heard you say flag and just saw a football coming back down, so I think that's what it was.
I do have slight color blindness, so that could be it. Huh. Bizarre. Okay, well, it'll be Colorado possession. That will be a flag. There is a flag right there, an emphatic one to say the least.
And that's illegal in just about every way. You can't bring your hands up and send him into a defenseman's face. That's 2 flags down on the field. Both refs saw that. Just not good.
And McElvenney shoots and scores!
To add insult to injury.
Colorado will still get the penalty, and Mitch, this may be an unreleasable 1-minute penalty as well.
And it really could be. His hands were headed towards his face. It's a cheap shot. He's standing still, just looking to set a pick for his man, and gets blown up. So we'll see what the refs call that here.
7-5 with 11:43 remaining in the third. We'll keep our eyes over there. I see Carson Barton, who's walking towards the bin. Looks like he's gonna take a seat. See how long for, though. .11:43 remaining here in our second quarter, 7-5. Lopes had a 4-goal lead at one point in this quarter, but behind Johnny Clayton and now Colin McElvenney, the Buffs have come firing back.
And that's going to be a 1-minute illegal body check called on Barton there. Lucky that that's not locked in.
So Barton will get a talking to from his head coach. Colorado could pull out the draw here. That'd be huge. Salami lined up for the Buffs. Unguarded on the near side is Doug Graves. He'll rush in. It'll be broken up. Chris Holland gets lit up. He's sent up behind, and Colorado will pick it up. So Salami will get it over to Clayton. A little less than a minute remaining on the man up, so we'll see if the Buffs can cut this 1-1. It's Doug Graves. Running on will be Gann for the first time. So we're going to see a little bit of Willis Reed action as Jace Gann will try to sit back door and maybe fire one. Gann will get it. He wants the shot. He'll give it up to Esqueda, who'll try to go near side, and a good save by the goaltender, Shushan. Holland will try to work it up. He's got some speed. He's also got a pack of Buffaloes. He's just going to trot through.
That's a good stop from Grand Canyon on the man down. Big save coming from the goaltender, and let's see if they can handle it in transition here.
Yard sale as it's picked up by Colorado. A good play by the Buffs. So still a few seconds remaining on the man up. Barton still sitting over across in the bin. Esqueda looks go back door to Clayton. Clayton will just have to try to get rid of it. It goes on net, and Shushan will clear the zone. 10:43 remaining in the second quarter. 7-5 in favor of GCU. Some Saturday afternoon MCLA action from Kit Field in Boulder, Colorado. Joe Paris and Mitch Fenton here with you on the call.
We've got a tweet coming in from Nicole Urban. Let's go Lopes. Thanks for the broadcast. Giving a shout out to her man Brandon Sushand, who's having a great game for himself in net. So a shout out for him.
He's been a big difference this afternoon, puzzling the Buffs there in the first. Cody Olson will take it. Olson will send a weak shot on net. Maybe it was meant to be a pass. He's looking behind to Farrell. Farrell tries to do a quick stick in front to Barton, and that was filthy. What a play. A 1-2 Farrell to Barton, and that's the combination that Colorado's been afraid of.
I'm standing here with my hand over my mouth, Joe, as that was just an exceptional finish from Barton. Coming out of the box, committed the foul on that last play. He knew he wanted to go out there and get one back for his team, and that's what he did.
So 10:08 remaining in our first half, 8-5. Salami will line up on the outside of this one, taking the draw for Colorado. This time around will be Sam Banks. On the opposite side for the Buffs is Blake Irwin. Huge face-off right here. Colorado needs to pick this up. They need these possessions. Trevor Brown will line up. Ominously quiet there right before the face-off, and the Lopes will win another draw. Nifty ground pass will come on to the stick of Tim Manahe. Manahe. Barton. We'll find Cody Clark. Clark will race on. He'll go one-on-one with Salami. Salami, the LSM, will push him towards the shadow of the sideline. Salami will back off. Clark will give it up top. It'll be Matt Mountain. 9:29 remaining in our second quarter, 8-5. Irwin on the defense. Will stare down Mountain. Mountain will run right at Irwin. He'll come around looking to go back door. Good fake pass. Mountain will fire one. That one goes wide. And it looks like Makarov's hustle on the backup will warrant a Colorado possession.
One of the benefits of having an athletic goalie like Makarov is just getting those extra possessions behind the net.
So Irwin be chased down by Carson Barton. Barton's got that good escaping speed. He'll be pushed over across midfield, though, by Zach Dawes. Dawes will give it up. Snell, the sophomore, comes to Wise. Young core out there for Colorado right now. It's Graves on the far end. He looks to come around a defender. He'll go to X. Wharton will hit Graves off a bounce. Behind the X, back to Ben Wharton. Wharton comes to Graves. He'll fire one, and that one goes wide. Will go out of bounds. Referee looking around to see where that one went. It deflected off something and came out of bounds. So he'll stick with the Bucks. Jay Snell will receive a pass from Ryan Stoll. He'll find Doug Graves on the near side. Wise will circle in from behind. Behind the net is Wharton. Graves will spin around the defender. Comes over to Clayton. He tries to cradle. Can't quite keep it in his net. Good stick check, though, from Ryan Stoll, as we're going to get a whistle.
Grand Canyon caught playing without the stick there. That's a good call from the referees, and the Buffalo will maintain possession.
He'll come to Ryan Stoll with 7:58 remaining in our first half. Colorado needs a goal. It's Graves. Graves looks across. Not sure if he was trying to shoot that one or find Ben Wharton on the doorstep. Either way, though, it'll stick with Colorado.
And Grand Canyon's defense has looked really good here today. They haven't given up too many shots on the doorstep. Their goalie's playing really well, and most of the shots that they are giving up are not favorable for an offense, or the shots they'd rather not take. So good on them, and let's see if they can do it for the rest of the day.
Snell will roll around the defender. He'll hit Clayton, who for the second time on this possession has a tough time handling it. Clayton will take it, though. He'll look across the Stoll. He elects to go down low instead, now to Hart Wise. Wise from X will try to beat a defender around. Hart will swing it. Graves fires and scores. Doug Graves will make this game 8-6.
Great look coming from Hart Wise up to the senior Doug Graves. A good skip pass coming through the middle. Grand Canyon's got to have their sticks up to prevent that look, but a good finish coming from the senior leader.
So Graves and McIlvaney will add on to the 4 by John Clayton, and that'll make it 8-6 with 7:20 remaining in our first half. The biggest thing coming up right now, though, is the face-off, and it'll be the veteran Salami out there for Colorado on the draw. Salami will go one-on-one again with Trevor Brown. Brown has been lights out this afternoon in the face-off X. And there's really a key alongside Shushin as why the GCU Lopes are up by 2. Salami will wrap up with him. We're going to get a whistle on an illegal hold on Colorado, so this one will stick with the Lopes again. So that one a technical win for the Lopes. Salami, though, fighting his hardest.
Yeah, Clark's never a guy that's going to give up on a face-off. He'll do whatever it takes to get the ball back, and sometimes he'll accidentally hold the guy and give it to them anyway.
Martin will sidestep here into the formation as the Lopes will run on. 6:58 remaining here in the first half. GCO looking like they've got nothing to hurry for. Martin will run into Zane O'Brien. Go behind the X now to Farrell. Farrell will dangle around. He'll trot away. Lucas DeYoung will go behind him. They'll switch spots. Farrell goes across up top. Cody Clark looks to fire one. Instead it comes to Barton, who will bounce one in. A save by Makarov. Colorado's got to clear this one out, though. Makarov will come out to take it. And the Buffs will look to push the pace. It's Rowan Sloss. Sloss the long pole. Will run with it into the offensive end. He's got no one picking him up. Finally, he'll come back toward a Wise. Wise will come on to a bursting player. Shot on net goes wide. And Shushan will pick it up. Grant Mechanic just couldn't sneak it away. Meanwhile, the Lopes will have some speed coming the other way. Manahe, though, will be distinct.
Great check by Penn Lukens, hustling in out of the box and trying to slow down the Grand Canyon transition offense.
Connor Urban's got it for Colorado. He'll run into Barton. Barton creates a turnover. It'll be flipped over. Barton, the attackman, goes down on top of the ball. But GCU will take it. It's Dean Farrell. A great play by Carson Barton on the ride. Hidden ball trick. Barton and Farrell trying to go hidden ball trick. Carton Barson does not have it. He fakes it. Good identification by the home crowd for Colorado to help yell out who actually had the ball on that hidden ball trick.
Always still scary to see top tier attackman wind up and fully uncork in your direction, though, regardless of if you're sure if he has the ball or not.
Good on the fly play, though, by Dean Farrell. And we're going to get a whistle. It'll be Colorado possession the other way.
And this is a quick whistle coming for the Buffs. Let's see if they can do something with it.
Erickson will come in. He'll flip it back toward a Wise. Wise avoids a defender, comes in front. Clayton tries to swing at it with a quick stick. Raleigh Colm, though, will rescue it out to safety. We're going to get a whistle, and I believe we're probably going to get a Colorado timeout, and we will.
Coach John Galvin wants to calm the troops down a little bit. Just over 5 minutes remaining in this second quarter, left in the half, and it'd be really nice if they could go into halftime tied up.
Clock is still running. There should be 5:11 remaining on the clock. Clock is running down here aggressively. Okay, and it looks like my friend Louis DiDonatis is wearing 25 this afternoon. I am so confused. Louis sometimes wears 4. Louis and I actually friends. Louis, the defenseman, the long pole for the Lopes. He and I broadcasted MCLA action together last year. Louis and I also worked together on some MCLA radio programming as well as World Lacrosse, so it's good to see my buddy Louis out here. He's wearing number 25.
And hopefully we'll get to see him out there on the field as well, Joe.
Yeah, Louis is a real good defensive player for this squad. He's got the long pole. Really knowledgeable lacrosse player. I've got to say, Louis actually taught me a lot about the game of lacrosse a little bit more than a year ago. Really helped me learn the game from a different perspective. I grew up playing hockey, a little lacrosse. I was a goalie, so I never really saw the other side of the field as a goalie. The one time I did, I got lit up, and that was the end of my game. It's
dangerous waters over there. Jensen Makarov is one of those few players who seems to have no problem being a goaltender and venturing across the halfway line.
So Colorado will come out of the timeout. Something drawn up. They can cut this game to 1. There reads 2.0 seconds on the scoreboard. They're having all types of clock malfunctions on the far side. I guess we got the spring break crew as everyone else is out of town.
Having operated that scoreboard before, it is no fun. It is complicated, or more complicated than it needs to be, I should say.
I'm going to take this opportunity to thank some of our partners for this year's broadcast. Encore Lacrosse. Encore is a great partnership here with the University of Colorado. Helped to put on a great broadcast here today, so thanks to John Christmas and everyone over at Encore. Action is character. And of course, Radio 1190, the AM Revolution, your home for Colorado lacrosse here in Boulder.
KVCU.
KVCU, baby. See, Hayden McLean actually just walked onto the scene. Maybe we'll see if we can get Hayden to come sneak onto the broadcast.
Good to see alumni getting out here for these games, especially midday. You know, either means they're not working or choosing not to work, so glad to see him out here.
Colm goes around a few defensemen. It's deflected in front, and the Lopes will try to clear the zone. Clayton push over Holland. Holland still scrambling. He'll send it across to Tim Mahaney, and Mahaney will bring it off midfield. Mahaney's now got some speed. He'll run in on Erickson. He'll go to Barson. Lopes have got speed. They've also got 4:24 and a 2-goal lead.
And the Lopes have done a good job all game of just being a threat whenever they come down on transition. It doesn't mean they're always going to take the shot or go for that inside look, but they're always a threat, so it makes Colorado play a little bit differently, extend out, and be aggressive when it comes to playing defense.
Cody Clark on the near side of your screen. Look to get things going. Erickson will back off. Colorado will set up their zone. 4 minutes even remaining. Clark will go right at Erickson. He'll handle around, looks to go to the far side now. He'll find Zadek. Zadek, who's got a hat trick here already in this game. Looks to the near side. Barton. Barton will draw Erickson. He'll give it up. Mountain. Clark will take it back out towards midfield. Seeing the Lopes with some more deliberate pacing here. You can see that Carson Barton is right on the doorstep waiting for it. Dean Farrell operating behind at X. It's Clark.
The refs have put a stalling warning on the Grand Canyon Lopes, which means they have 30 seconds to get a shot on net or to score a goal.
Broken up here in the slot. Isaacson's going to chase after it. The speedy man will get it, and he'll pick it up. Barton will chase after him. Lumber sail down on the midfield, and we're going to see a double team check on Barton. And Barton was decked. That's going to draw a foul.
It looks like it's going to be a push with possession going against Colorado. Should be a 30-second man up for Grand Canyon.
Barton took a lick, though, going into the sideline. You can tell there's a little bit extra behind hitting that guy. Spelling all sorts of trouble for Colorado this afternoon. 8-6, though. 2-goal game.
Let's go, Downers!
Things have settled down as of late. But GCU has come out firing here this afternoon in Boulder. They're looking like a team that can make a run not only this afternoon but into the national tournament. And a year ago those injuries really hindered them, but operating now at full strength. The crew in black and purple looking good. Clark. We'll work around now to Lucas DeYoung. Trying to go back door. It'll be broken up, though, by Colorado. A great play by Connor Irvin. Irvin now running around with the long stick. He'll mishandle it. He's got to get rid of it, and he finally will. It'll be worked off by Jordan Shaparsky. Shaparsky's being chased around by a few Lopes. He'll come across to Isaacson, who will advance it into the near half. Isaacson is sticked, though, and it'll be brought over now by the Lopes again.
You know, good job of getting the ball cleared, but Grand Canyon taking advantage of their man-up opportunity and getting the ball back.
So it'll be sent into the near half to Nolan Garman. Garman will find Barton.
And the teams are all even now, Joe.
Colorado killing off the man down. Zadek will be picked up on defense by the much shorter Blake Irwin. He'll give it up, though. Clark. Picked up by Isaacson here.
And Irwin and Isaacson are two guys you see playing the wings on this zone look, and while both of them are under, 6 foot, well under 6 foot, they are the guys who put the extra effort in the weight room and really get their strength up to be able to compete out here with these maybe taller, bigger opponents.
Zadek will give it up. It'll come to Mountain. Mountain to the near side. A shot on net is gloved out of the air by Jensen Makarov. Minute 35 remaining. Colorado would love to cut this to a 1-goal lead. Advancing it up for Colorado is Irwin. Irwin's got some speed. Irwin's going to fire one, and that goes wide. Backing it up for Colorado is Wharton.
Great heads-up play by Wharton. If the GCU goalie gets out of the cage to get that back with a minute and a half left, that's a big letdown for the Buffs. So good heads-up play by the freshman.
Snell will go one-on-one with Holland. He'll come behind the net now. Waiting for it is Clayton. Clayton's calling for it. Wise, though, is going to come around the bend. He'll fire one high and an easy save for Shushan. He casually put the net up to make that save. He knew where it was going to be.
Yeah, that was really the only place Wise had to shoot it. It was either there or missing the net, and so the goalie wisely took away that open space.
Holland will avoid Graves, gets a good pass into the near half. Referee's going to blow his whistle.
And maybe a poorly advised timeout coming from the Grand Canyon coach, as it looked like their team was in transition and gearing up for a goal.
A minute even remaining here in the second quarter, 8-6 game. The slowing is slowed down. It started off at a hyperkinetic pace. GCU advancing over Colorado by 4 goals at one point, but led by Johnny Clayton, Colorado's come firing back here in the second.
Yeah, and after being down by 4 goals, 8-6 is by no means a deficit that these Buffs cannot overcome. They've been down by more this year. They were down by 4 goals early against Arizona State in that matchup in Phoenix. So they've played with a loss before. They're used to doing so, and let's see if they can come out and maybe get another one before the end of half, or if Grand Canyon can extend their lead.
Make sure to tweet your thoughts into @JoeParis and @Mitchie_Bags. You can nominate your encore player of the game through those venues. Taking submissions starting now through halfway through the fourth quarter, so nominate who you think is playing the best this afternoon, and they may be our encore brand player of the game. Minute remaining, though, in the first half. 8-6 is our score. Joe Paris and Mitch Fenton here with you on a beautiful Saturday afternoon in Boulder, Colorado. Quick shout out to everyone here on our crew today. Derek Michelson, Joey Prechtel, and Ansley Guthrie all helping out on their spring break.
Glad they're sticking around to help us out. It makes a big difference.
We'll have a crew here on Monday as well for the Colorado Chapman game. Chapman Panthers come in on the year number 4 in the country. GCU at 5. These teams, though, all, honestly interchangeable at this point. All great squads.
Yeah, the top 5 for the MCLA really is that consistent level of play, and anytime you get 2 of those teams match up against each other, you can expect just a great game.
It'll be brought into play by Zadek. Mountain, Eckroth. Bastic Zadek. Zadek looking at Carson Barton. He wants to hit him there. He'll trot it over to Barton. Farrell at X. Those are the 2 to watch for GCU. Farrell will take it from X. Triggered around the circle. Mountain comes back door now to Barton. Barton looking like he wants to unload. Still with it. He'll go to Zadek. Zadek to Mountain. Mountain back to the near side. It's Cody Clark. Clark will be picked up by Grant McCannon. McCannon been quiet this afternoon, but he showed earlier this year that he can light it up. He'll run right at him. Clark will work around. He'll fire one and it goes down and away. Barton backing it up, though, for the Lopes. 13 seconds remaining in the half. Colorado looking at this point just to hang on to this 2-goal deficit. Barton's going to look to isolate with 10 now. He's going to come around the bend. Fires one. That one is poked away, I believe, off the top of Connor Irvin's stick.
Great lift coming from Irvin, just getting under his hands and not giving Barton any opportunity to get that shot off.
Zadek will take it from the corner with 5.6 seconds remaining. 8-6 in favor of the Lopes. Farrell's looking to post up down low along with Barton. It'll be sent through some traffic. Shot on net. A great save there by Makarov. And that'll be the end of our first half. Robbing him on the doorstep. Lucas DeYoung tried to send it through, but Makarov got the stick there just in the nick of time. And that may be a save we look back to on at the end of this game to say that was the difference maker.
You really can't say enough about how big of a save that is. You know, if Grand Canyon hits that goal with half a second left going into halftime and they're up by 3 goals, that's just a huge momentum play. And now, instead of it going their way, it's going for the Buffs. So great job by Makarov to keep his team in it and remain at that 2-goal deficit.
So Colorado, who started out being a little bit puzzled by this GCU squad, is calmed down and got this to a 2-goal game. We've got 10 minutes up on the clock for a quick halftime, so we are going to step aside alongside Mitch Fenton. I'm Joe Paris. Thanks for joining us. Please tweet in your thoughts about the game as well as your nominations for the Encore Brand Player of the Game. We'll read through all those tweets when we come back, but at halftime, your score, GCU Lopes 8, Colorado Buffalo 6. Don't go anywhere. Second half coming up after this. Welcome back into Boulder, Colorado. We're about to finish our halftime period. I'm Joe Paris. I'll be joined here by Mitch Fenton here in a minute. He's off to take a real quick bathroom break and visit with some of the CU Lacrosse alum that are here. Just saw Tyler Doherty, talked to him. Tito, a huge member of last year's national championship squad. But Derek and I have been hard at work here, working on some halftime graphics for you, mostly just Derek. I watched him do it, but let's run through some of our halftime stats for you right now. Again, the big stat at the end of the first, it is 8-6 GCU over Colorado. A little bit of a surprising start. The Buffs couldn't get it going. Your Radio 1190 headlines of the game, well, the big one again, 8-6 on the shots on goal department. Colorado was actually up by 2, 18-15. The big department, though, that GCU has been taking advantage of and has been the difference has been the face-offs. GCU winning 11 of 15 draws, and Colorado only picking up 4. And for the Buffs, they're going to have to definitely pick up some more face-off wins in the second half if they're going to want to run with the Lopes. They're definitely going to try and keep an eye on to see if GCU is going to slow it down at all, because hyperkinetic pace there at the start of the game, but the Lopes started to slow down a little bit. Playing 2 games at altitude. On Thursday, they played up in Fort Collins, which high elevation, a little bit lower than Boulder, but Mitchie is now joining me here. What did you see in that first half?
I was talking to...
Oh, we got to turn your volume on. There we go. Hey, Mitch, welcome back.
Yeah, good to be here.
All right.
Talking to some people on the sidelines after the game, they really agreed that the Buffs were taking some poorly advised shots from the outside in transition, putting them right into the goalie's stick, and that's just not what you want. If you're going to take a shot, it's really got to go in or miss so that your team retains possession, they can settle the ball down and get an extended possession. On the defensive end, it really seemed like things started to pick up for Colorado after they put it into that zone look. Grand Canyon put in 3 or 4 quick ones to go on that 3-goal run, and it really made the Buffs think, and they started to jump into their zone, and it seemed to pay off for them.
So 15 minutes set up here on the clock for our third quarter. 8-6 is our score. Joe Paris alongside Mitch Fenton. And Mitch, you played in some pretty big games last year on your revenge tour to the national championship. Any games reminiscent of this one?
Being down like this, it really makes me think of the UCSB game, our semifinal game last year at the national tournament. We were down early, 3-0 off the bat. As you hear the crowd really getting into it now, excited for this second half. But yeah, down early, the Buffs in a similar situation now and ready to come out here for this second half of action.
It'll be interesting to see if Colorado tries to run on GCU. The GCU's got to be winded a little bit here. I mean, they play 2 games here at altitude.
Never easy, Joe.
So we are set to play here in the second half. Thanks for joining us. This is going to be a fun one. Make sure to tweet in your reactions throughout the second half. We'll read some of them here on the air. Isaacson and Diodanatis are lined up on the near side. In the face-off X, though, it's Clark Salami for Colorado. And the big stat was 11 of 15 for GCU. They absolutely destroyed the face-off category in that first half. And as Mitchie and I both highlighted, Colorado's got to get some draws here and get some extra possessions. And they will almost pick up that one. It was in the net momentarily and will now be pushed off into the near half. So Trevor Brown will win it again. It'll come back to Chris Holland.
Wisely dumped by Brown back towards the midline as he knew his midfielders were coming in and be able to safely scoop it up.
So same story to start off the second half. It's a face-off win by GCU. And last year, Colorado really never ran into this problem of not being able to win face-offs. And even a game against Joe Mickelson and Michigan State, they still corralled the pace. And, I mean, they ran away with that one.
Yeah, the Michigan State game was interesting. We knew going into it that Mickelson was going to be dominant in his possession and in his face-off abilities, but Clark won the important ones, and even more so, we were able to take the ball away a lot and just kind of neutralize that threat that is Joe Mickelson.
And it's going to come down to the defense here for Colorado. They can't get that face-off X rolling. It's Barton who will roll around. He'll play it off to the near side. It's DeYoung who gives up the shot behind out of Farrell.
Great job by Connor Irvin to rotate across the backside through the crease and stop the look coming up from X.
Barton will send it in down low. Comes again to Farrell at X. Zadek will send it up top. It's Mountain. Mountain goes back to Barton. Barton wants to go one-on-one with the smaller Isaacson. He'll work off behind a Farrell. Deliberate pace to start out here for the Lopes. A shot on net from Barton is way off the mark. We're seeing Colorado coming out with that zone look. It started to frustrate the Lopes at the end of that first half. Zadek to Mountain. Mountain will draw the gaze of Zane O'Brien. O'Brien will give him the right lane. Looking right at Zach Dawes. Farrell comes from X, will pick that one up, and will avoid some defenders. Just underway here in the second half, 13-10 remaining. GCU up by 2. Mountain to DeYoung. Zadek. Zadek will be chased around by Dawes. He'll be worked around again the circle to Lucas DeYoung. DeYoung sends it to the near side. Clark and O'Brien stare each other down. Clark's going to go right at him. He'll beat him to the right side, but O'Brien does a good job to keep his spacing. A great nugget there for Colorado. It's Connor Irvin who's getting the wicket up in the air.
And that was good deliberate offense coming from Grand Canyon, trying to find the seams, trying to get the defense to rotate. But again, that's a situation where time really is on the defensive side. Eventually the offense is going to make a mistake, and you saw Connor Irvin capitalize on one there.
Escada will send it across to Mitch Erickson. 12:24 remaining in the third. Erickson goes on the far side. Clayton's having a real hard time getting that ball into the net. Guess the concentration might not be there for John Clayton after he started out hot. Meanwhile, it's Nolan Garman. Garman will send it in to Zadek. Zadek looks behind. Instead, he'll run into Erickson, finally giving up to Farrell. 11:58 remaining in the third. Highly contested game here. Marquee matchup of the MCLA this weekend is this game here. The game on Monday between Colorado and Chapman. We'll have our coverage here from Kit Field at 1 p.m. So mark that on the calendar. It'll be Ryan Eli. Colm will run at Eli. Even physical matchup there. Eli will work it out to the outside. Zadok on the near half. Spins around. Sends one on net. Saved by Makarov. Comes behind to Farrell. Farrell will go right back to Zadok though. Zadok looks in the slot now. Barton goes back to Zadok. He's going to look back to Farrell. Farrell wants Barton. Instead he gets Zadok. Zadok will be picked up by Erickson. It'll be sent across.
It's a good attempt by Riley Colm to get out there and jump that pass, showing Grand Canyon that this defense, while in a zone, isn't falling asleep. They're still aggressive and still trying to get that ball.
Clark will take it for the Lopes. 11 minutes remaining in our third quarter. Erickson will pick up Clark. He'll race around the edge, backdoor pass. Zadok will send one on net, deflected by everything in front. Lands right into Carson Barton, and is saved there by Jensen Makarov. Jensen hitting the deck and making a huge save. He'll outlet it now to Erickson.
Great job by Rowan Sloss to come up with that rebound, dump it right back into Jensen's stick, and they got the ball going in transition. Just all around good defense coming from Colorado there.
A little bit more energy now for the attack line for Colorado. It's Riley Colm. Colm will go to Clayton on the far side. He'll hit Graves up top. Graves wants to blast it. Instead, he'll come on the back door. Sends one, and a good save there by Brandon Shushan. It just looks easy this afternoon for Shushan.
And again, the Buffs really not getting the shots that they want. That one coming from outside, high to high, not the best shot.
And a 1-2 pass from Holland to Farrell will be a goal for GCU. They lead 9-6.
And again, that's why you can't take that shot in transition. Shushan does a great job of making a pretty good save, but it's high to high, it's in transition, it's coming from not the best angle and pretty far out, and he got the ball up really quick, and Grand Canyon was able to push it in transition, and that's what's going to keep happening if the Buffs keep taking these ill-advised shots.
Colorado's shot selection right now is poor at best. They keep trying to shoot high on Shushan. They're not trying to change levels. I mean, even the fundamental level of lacrosse, you'll see coaches say you got to change levels, And when you run into a hot goaltender like Shushan, you can't keep on going high. He's got the stick there before the shot's even coming out of the net. So 10-13 remains in our third quarter. A 3-goal game now as the Lopes will inch ahead. They win another draw, it'll be broken up momentarily, but it'll be fished back for GCU.
And don't be surprised to see Colorado jump into their 10-man here and try to get something going for their team.
Shushan will be raced down by Wise. A lob pass is going to be right to Barton. Barton's going to get a great bounce. He's going to walk in. He's going to backhand a shot that goes wide. A break for Colorado as Barton, maybe the most skilled player on the field, had the ball find its way just to him, and he was wide open. Colorado, though, will catch a break here as they'll get the backup.
Great job by Grand Canyon beating that 10-man ride and Barton working himself into a nice opportunity, but like you said, great backup from Colorado, and it's going the other way.
Graves will trot off into the near half. He'll be picked up by Louis DiDonatis. Stoll from the far side. Looks to go right at Holland. Centers it in front. Escada gets decked from behind. He's looking for a call. He's not going to get one. Holland from behind the net, meanwhile, trying to fish it out of there. He's battling with Wise. Wise will hack at it. Still free. Escada will try to scoop it out. Finally, he's going to come free, and the great hustle play for Colorado will warrant another possession. Fans appreciating it here. Graves will send it around the bend. It's Jay Snell. Snell up top for Stoll. Stoll, a long shot. A save there by Shushan again. Rebound will come to Snell. Snell can't scoop it up. Finally does on the third attempt. Broken free again. He'll kick at it. Trying to use his body to break it free, and Ryan Stoll will scoop it up. Comes up top to Graves. Graves will fire one, and he scores! A bounce shot will beat the goaltender just by a few inches. Shushan dropped down to his knees, but Colorado scores.
Excellent shot coming from Graves. You might have noticed that Shushan has a little bit of a habit of dropping to his knees on the low shot. So if you can take a good 3/4 bouncer, put it off the top of the crease, you can get it back up above his shoulder, and that's exactly what Graves did there.
Great geometry from the top. A far shot, too. That wasn't an in-close, tight shot. He's way out 15 yards.
Classic Colorado lacrosse there. Something that Coach Galvin instills into these guys from the very beginning is move it off the ground. And you saw Stoll come up with a big ground ball for his team, get it over to Graves, and Graves took a great shot and put it away.
Enormous face-off here for Colorado to see if they can roll the momentum. Fished out, DiDonatis and Irwin will battle for it, and Salami will come up with it. The long pole will be traced down by the other LSM, Louis DiDonatis. Sent over now for Colorado. Here we go. Buffs are starting to roll. It's Blake Irwin. Irwin off to the near side. He'll find Carter Escada. Escada will stare down DiDonatis and rotate up to the top.
And the Buffs wisely slowing it down here. They're back within 2, looking to get a settled possession and put another one up on the scoreboard.
Colm will come on. He'll change direction. Shot on net goes off the post. Straight up out into the air. McElvain will chase it down. Hart-Wise will get him there as well.
That's another great three-quarters bounce shot that's coming back up above the goaltender's hip that beat the goalie and just got a piece of the pipe. But let's see if they can keep using that style of shot and beat this goalie who's been having a great day.
McElvain with a nifty jods around 2 guys. He'll look in front. DiDonatis was there on the backside rotation, so he'll go to the top now to Erickson, who will send a blast, and he scores! Mitch Erickson will go 5-hole, and Colorado has cut this lead to 1.
And you can see Shushan upset with himself after that one. That's a good 18-yard shot coming from Erickson through traffic. A great shot, but definitely one that the goaltender wishes he had back.
Colorado doing a good job here the last few possessions, using those bounce shots through traffic to beat Shushan, who is seeing the ball well. And if you have a hot goaltender that's seeing things well, best thing to do, make sure he doesn't see it.
Exactly, Joe. Like we said, great job using everyone in the middle as a little bit of a screen, little bit of traffic. Luckily, it didn't catch anyone on the way through, and it worked out. Buffs back within 1.
You had a feeling that this game was going to be neck and neck no matter really what happened in the first half. I mean, lacrosse is a game of runs, but it's also a game of 2 halves, and the second half is electric already. 7:58 remaining in our third quarter. It's going to be an illegal procedure on the Lopes, so it'll be Colorado that'll get the possession.
And a little bit of momentum coming back towards Colorado. Let's see if they can capitalize with it.
Banks will flip it down low, and he'll go off. Sam Banks doing a good job there to go the other face-off man into a illegal procedure. McElvain, who's getting a little more field time here to start off the second half, finds Erickson on the near side. Erickson will be pushed by DeYoung. He'll give it up top now to Riley Colm. Colm with the neon shooting strings will work around Holland. Triggers behind to Escada. Escada will work it quickly over to McElvain to Clayton. Clayton will send a blast, and a great save there by Shushan. Flipped up in the air by DiDonatis, spinning away as Erickson. He can't quite get to it. And it'll be raced over now by Nolan Garman. Garman looking to go back door. He'll slow it up. The long pole will fire up top to DeYoung.
And like we've been saying all day, though, that's great defense coming from Grand Canyon. They've been giving up those outside shots, and while it's unfortunate that the last 2 beat their goaltender, they still trust him. They still want to give up those 16, 17-yard shots, and he showed why on this last one, making a save and getting the ball downfield.
Clark will trot off to the far side. Matt Mountain coming on for GCU. With it is Clark. Clark will be stick checked and work around to Colm. He'll go behind now to Farrell. Farrell, of course, hits Barton. Barton to Mountain to DeYoung. Coming back door, he'll spin away. Zadok looks to hit Barton right on the doorstep. It'll be poked away, and Colorado will get the possession. I believe getting the stick in there was Rowan Sloss. Sloss has been a difference here in the defensive half, and he's got it now. 6:15 remaining in the third quarter. 1-goal game from Kitfield and Bowler. Number 1 Colorado and number 5 Grand Canyon University. It's Riley Colm. Colm looks right at Shushan. He wanted to make a break for it. His lane, though, will be swallowed up by the quick defense of the Lopes. Graves. Wharton looks across. Graves will shoot what he scores! Wharton was sneaking in behind. I think Shushan was going to cheat back door, but Graves will set it in himself. We're tied at 9.
That's a great job by Doug Graves, working inside. That's really the first goal that we've seen today with the Buffs getting one on the inside. That's a great job.
So Doug Graves will add his 3rd of the afternoon, and it's 9-9. Great second half comeback to start for Colorado. They were down at 4 at one point, but have inched back, and we are back to 0-0.
And for our former Buffs CU alumni that are watching, former club sports director Chris Shook making an appearance at the game, so always good to see him.
Shooky coming over and saying hello to us. Always great to see Chris. Really helped build this men's lacrosse program over the last 10 years. Bringing on John Galvin on 2 different occasions. Ball thrown away momentarily. Thrown away again. Great defensive play by Colorado. Breaking it up was Grant McCannon. Meanwhile, on the rush, it's Clayton. Clayton's going to come to the front door. Shoot, he scores! Hart-Wise! And Colorado on top, 10-9.
And this is really what we expected to see from Colorado all day. They came out strong in the second half, and it's surprising that we didn't see it in the first, but just a really good job of A, utilizing the 10-man ride to get the ball back, then B, moving the ball upfield quickly, and finally C, finishing, Joe.
Wise with an electric play has put Colorado on top of their first lead of the afternoon with 5:13 remaining in our third quarter. And as we get closer to that clock ticking to 0 in the fourth quarter, these faceoffs get bigger and bigger. Colorado is inching towards closing that gap that GCU opened in that first half. GCU will win it back, but the possession will come to Colorado. Banks will grab it. He goes down and loses it. It'll be Holland now for the Lopes. He's going to strong arm his way all the way up. Impressive display there by Chris Holland as he was being harassed by everyone. Penn Lukens couldn't work it free.
Awesome hustle play from Holland, just knowing what he needed to do, get it to his teammate or get it into the box, just kept his feet moving, put his head down, and took the checks that were facing him.
So now GCU seeing their first deficit of the afternoon. We'll see how they respond. You've got a feeling that Farrell and Barton are going to be the two guys highlighted on this next possession. But Zadek, who's also had a hot afternoon, he'll come to Farrell. He tries to spin back door. Can't quite beat Connor Irvin. Still chasing him down is Irvin. He'll get it free, but it'll bounce right into the stick here on the near side of Cody Clark.
Wise play by Farrell, not knowing that he doesn't need to necessarily make a good pass, but just get the ball away from himself and over to his teammate.
4:15 remaining in the third. 10-9 game on Saturday afternoon. A treat. A marquee matchup of not only this weekend, but of the year. Coming around is Clark. Clark looks into the slot. Instead, he'll take it behind the X. He'll go off of a screen from Farrell. Barton. Barton looks to back down Zane O'Brien. Instead, he gets rid of it. It's Matt Mountain. Mountain will send it over to DeYoung.
Colorado's still working in this zone look. It looks like it's been pretty productive for them so far.
DeYoung will take a run now at Penn Lukens. He'll beat him around the edge, but Lukens does a good job to seal it off inside. So it'll be the Lopes that send it around the corner. It comes Barton. Up top now, it's Mountain. Mountain will go back to Barton. Barton comes in, sends one on net, and it'll be fought away there by Makarov. Wasn't a great shot, but Makarov did a good job just pushing forward and getting just enough of that ball.
Carson Barton, one of those interesting players who really is a righty-dominant player. You see a lot at the college level. Players will be pretty proficient with both of their hands. Barton is a right-handed player. That's really the only way you can describe him. And he goes out there, he works to his left side, but really he's looking to get the stick back into his right hand and go for that big rip.
He's so talented, though. You know what he's going to do, and he still beats you. DeYoung's got it. Barton now for the first time will come to the top of the formation. He has been on that far side. Kind of reminds me of Alexander Ovechkin of the NHL on the power play. He hangs out on the left circle and just waits for that one-timer. Barton, though, will work over to his right side.
And Canadian instead of Russian, Joe.
He is Canadian instead of Russian. That is a big difference there. It'll be a low-ended goal coming from Zadek, and we're tied at 10.
And that's a tough one. Connor Irvin is rotating through the crease right as Zadek goes to take it. Might have screened Makarov just a little bit, and if he did, it was just enough to let that ball squeak through low.
So 2:38 remains here in our third quarter. This game's tied at 10. The drama is creating itself. You couldn't write a better story for Saturday afternoon.
Not for a Saturday spring break in sunny Boulder.
Salami will battle. He can't win that one again, and Holland will grab it. Buffs having all sorts of trouble in the face-off department no matter who they put out there. It's been Trevor Brown all afternoon who's been lighting it up at the face-off X. So it'll be the Lopes with another possession. Clark's got it. He looked at Zadek. Change of personnel for GCU. Clark will hang on. Shifting up top will be Irwin. Irwin will point it out. Clark will be picked up by Grant McCannon. McCannon, a senior leader out here on the defensive core for Colorado. He'll try to push Clark. Clark, though, will hang on to it. Gets rid of it finally to Farrell. Farrell will come to the near side to Zadek. Zadek will come around. He wants to fire it. Instead, he goes up top of the formation. Mountain works it around the end. That's Farrell at X. Farrell back to the side. Shot goes wide. Clark had a good look. He just didn't get that on the shooting line he wanted. A BTB there is fought away again by Makarov. DeYoung tried to have the highlight reel goal, but Makarov kept him out of there.
And with just over a minute left, let's see if Grand Canyon can potentially take the lead going into the fourth quarter.
Minute 20 remaining in the third. We're tied at 10. Mountain. He'll draw Salami. Salami with the long pole. Try to work him up on the back door, and he can't. Opens him.
Beautiful takeaway check from Clark Salami, and the Buffs are in transition.
Here comes Irwin. Irwin's got some speed. Numbers this way for Colorado if they hurry. GCU defense, though, will catch up to the play. Under a minute to go now in the third. Wharton finds Graves. Graves will handle with a hand, and then he'll back out to Snell. Snell will come to Justin Ruck instead of Graves. Graves fires one, and a great save by Shushan. Rush is going to have to chase after it. The big boy, who's not the speediest player out there, will win the battle to the sideline, though. Justin Ruck, the freshman attack, got a powerful shot, not the quickest on his feet, but he's going to try and post up here on the back door and send one home. Stoll's got it. Stoll looks to Clayton on the back door. Clayton, though, will be sealed off by Cody Clark. Snell search around, fires, saved by Shushan. 12 seconds remaining. Shushan's going to lob this one deep. It's going to be on net. Makarov actually will back up, and this one's going to go out of bounds. And they're going to call this one Colorado ball with 3.9 remaining on the ineligible play. It'll be sent all the way down. It will come to Wharton. Wharton will fire. He scores! Are they going to count it?
Absolutely.
They're going to count it!
Absolutely, Joe. It is a new rule in lacrosse this year that it is like basketball. If the ball has left your stick before the timer expires and then crosses the plane of the goal, it is a good goal. So an assist for Zach Doss and a goal for Ben Wharton.
What a sling by Zach Doss to Ben Wharton. Wharton, who's about 20 feet out here, 20 yards plus out here, he sends that one home just inside the outside post, and Colorado up 11-10. What a way to end the third. My goodness.
I'm speechless after that one, Joe.
I haven't seen a play like that ever on this field.
And you know, it is a new rule that if the ball is out of the stick and then crosses the plane after time has expired, it is a good goal. So that might be one of the first times that a situation like that has occurred in men's lacrosse.
Goodness, Ben Wharton, what the awareness to know that rule and just send it on net. I mean, he doesn't have to know the rule, he sends it on net.
Definitely got a little bit of help from the sideline. They all looked up after he handled it and saw 1.9 left and just started screaming shoot, and he listened and put it on net. That was impressive to get it on the cage from about, 25, 30 yards away there?
And we're going to give the CU fans sitting here at Kittfield an assist on that play.
Absolutely, Joe.
They are now eligible for player of the game. The CU sideline yelling for Wharton to sling it.
And it worked out.
What a play. 11-10 in favor of Colorado. GCU's got to be rattled after that.
Yeah, and you saw Makarov come up with that huge save at the end of the second quarter, and then Wharton with that great goal here at the end of the third. So the Buffs finding a way to make it work in the last couple seconds of each stand.
Quick shout out to our partners for today's broadcast, Encore Lacrosse. Encore Action is Character, as well as Radio 1190, your home for Colorado lacrosse here at the University of Colorado. It's Radio 1190, KVCU Boulder, the AM Revolution. Tune in every Monday, Wednesday, Friday for your coverage at 6 to 7 p.m. of Colorado lacrosse, as well as all things CU sports and news. But Mitch, 15 minutes up on the clock now for the fourth quarter. And this is going to be a barn burner of a finish. Business is about to pick up.
And this might as well be a 0-0 game going into the fourth quarter. The Buffs do have a 1-goal lead, but both teams have fought back from deficits in this one, and it's just been great, back and forth for 45 minutes thus far. And I gotta say, I've had the privilege of calling two very close games with you, Joe, so far, and it's been a lot of fun.
Make sure to tweet your thoughts into @JoeParis and @Mitchie_Bags for your interaction for this fourth quarter. That Encore player of the game is up for grabs. I mean, there's a dozen guys out there right now that deserve it.
It's a tough one to call there, Joe. And it looks like we're ready to go here in the fourth quarter.
11-10, fourth quarter. Here we go. Referee having a conversation with the Colorado sideline, yelling something to Galvin. Coach Galvin looked unhappy about something, but he'll take his set. Coach Gray and Coach Tappet, Ben Wise stalking the sideline. I don't think Ben saw the weather report this afternoon. He's wearing long pants and a long shirt. But we are underway here for the fourth quarter. Huge GB right out of the face-off circle. It'll be pushed forward by Colorado. They can't scoop it up, but neither can the Lopes. Still free. Finally, Barton will try to get a hack at it. Still free. Jumps over his stick. Barton grabs it, knocked right out of his stick. I think we're going to get a push or a slash or something. Referee's whistle's going to come in. We're going to get a push, and it's going to be Colorado ball.
Big scrum that just ends in a loose ball push going Colorado's way. And Joe, I do have to say, to Ben Wise's credit, that is the Ben Wise coaching uniform. Believe it or not, he has 2 long sleeve shirts on, and his khakis. So no matter what the temperature, it's like me in my sweatpants. He's wearing those long sleeves.
I hope they're Nike Dry Fit, because he's got to be sweating over there. And it also doesn't help that it's a very close game. Colorado a 1-goal advantage over the Lopes. Riley Colm will storm onto the scene here in our final 15 minutes. It's McElvaney. McElvaney will work over down towards DeDonatis, who is getting screened by Erickson. To the near side. Over Holland, he jukes him out of his steps. McElvaney with an ambitious shot will set it high over the bar, out of bounds. Hartwise, though, will back it up for the Buffs.
Just a bit outside on that one for Colin.
Erickson will wheel it around. He'll look back door. He's got Riley Colm. Colm with the neon strings will go right back to Erickson. Erickson looks to McElvaney. He'll have him. McElvaney draws the attention of Holland. He'll defer around the bend now. It's Johnny Clayton. Clayton had 4 goals to get going in the first half, has been quiet since. McElvaney from X. One-on-one with Holland. He'll go around a screen. He'll send one high. Backdoor is going to come to Hart Wise. Wise is going to have a race at the sideline. He'll get there. It's going to come out of bounds, and this is actually going to be a GCU possession as Wise couldn't quite scoop it. Referee's going to blow a whistle. He's going to point out of bounds. Kevin McDonald waiting for the go-ahead, and he'll get it. He'll send it across. Shishen was expecting it, but it's a narrow play down on that far sideline. Austin Eckroth almost had that one jump out of his stick. On the ride, though, it'll be Ben Wharton. Wharton will chase him down. GCU will get it free here in the back half. Stepping up for Colorado there is Rowan Sloss. Sloss will chase down, but the Lopes have done a good job to break the ride. Sloss still tries to get it free, finally does. Comes right to Holland, though, and we're going to get a whistle. Mitch, did you get the call there? I couldn't see across.
I didn't quite see the hand signal from the ref, but it looked like it might have been failure to advance. It took them more than 30 seconds to get the ball in, and that's the other benefit that comes from running that 10-man ride. Even if you don't get an interception, you can stall the clearing team long enough to get that call.
So Colorado will get an extra possession here. It's McElvaney. McElvaney will hit Erickson. Erickson looks to dangle around the defender. He's matched up with Manahe. Behind now to Hart Wise. Wise till McElvaney. Colm. Mahaney will work in on him. Clayton will zip it over to Colm. Colm to McElvaney. McElvaney wanted the shot. Slot, though, is sealed off by Louis DeDonatis. DeDonatis with that long pull will force the pass to the near side of Erickson. Erickson had a lane on the dodge. He'll give it up, though, to Clayton. Clayton will trot around. McElvaney to Colm. Colm will come back to Erickson. Erickson looks behind to Clayton. Clayton sees Wise at X. He'll hit him there. Looks in the front. Sends one. Scores!
Great job there by Hartwise, floating around to the backside as Clayton drew a possible look. He drew a possible slide from the defender and was able to move it to Hart, who was wisely moving back towards the other side of the cage, curled up around the crease, and took a good shot.
I know Hart's parents are listening at home in Ohio, and that's his second of the afternoon. His parents have got to be proud because that's a huge tally. 12-10 with 11:48 remaining in our fourth quarter. This is what the MCLA is about, Mitch. I mean, this type of competition, this is elite level right here.
Yeah, this is exactly what you expect when you tune in either on the live stream or come out here to Kittredge to watch 2 top-ranked teams play, whether it's Colorado or GCU, just 2 powerhouses in this league and doing a great job here this afternoon.
GCU will get another draw on the face-off X. Shishenwell's going to send it all the way down to Barton. Carson Barton will go around a man. He's got a lot of open space. He'll drop it down to Farrell. It'll be battled for and knocked home. I don't know who got the last touch. Colorado wanting a crease violation. I think Farrell might have gotten a piece of it. So Dean Farrell, I believe, baseballed that one home. A messy play on the doorstep, a broken play will make this again a one-goal game.
It looked like Makarov came out to try and scoop up the loose ball, but Farrell was just a little bit quicker to it, got his stick in front of Makarov, and then actually finished it backhanded just off the edge of the crease and brings the Lopes back into within one.
12-11. Drama is high at Kitt Field with 11:31 remaining in our fourth quarter. These two teams are leaving it all out on the field here this afternoon. This will be the last of GCU's road trip game. Colorado will play Chapman on Monday. So we'll see how Colorado will adjust here as the fourth quarter wails on, knowing that they've got a huge matchup again on Monday. GCU able to just empty the tank here in the fourth because they've got a travel day tonight, and that's it. 11:08 remaining in our fourth quarter. The Lopes will have a deliberate place coming out of the faceoff. DeYoung has got it. St. O'Brien at the top of the zone formation for Colorado. This zone has been clicking for Colorado here since they went to it late in the first half.
And this seems to be the pace that the Lopes have kept since then. They're never in a rush, but always taking what the Buffs give them. So they've capitalized on a couple opportunities, but they're not afraid to slow the ball down and kind of analyze this zone a little bit as well.
Farrell and Barton, the two top guys, have been clicking here. Barton will come around the end. He'll send one and he scores. Carson Barton will go low on the right post, and we're tied at 12.
Great job by Barton to keep his feet moving after his zone defender drop off him. A little bit of a breakdown, a slight miscommunication it seems for the Buffs on that one. One of the players recovered back into the zone, but another one hadn't come over to pick up Barton, and he recognized that and just took a good shot.
10:34 remaining in the fourth. We're tied. This game is as good as new. True to the oldest broadcast language, it's a game of runs.
Absolutely. Any broadcaster in lacrosse will tell you that, and it's true here today, as we've seen both teams go on their fair share of back and forth runs.
This really has been back and forth, ebbing and flowing between each squad. And we're going to get a GCU possession off of a violation from Colorado.
Looked like one of the Colorado attackmen stepped out of the box just before the possession call was called by the refs, and GCU going the other way.
Comes to Barton. Barton's got some speed. He goes back door. Farrell, quick stick, home, scores. 13-12 GCU. Barton to Farrell, the deadly combination for the Lopes is clicking now in the fourth, and they've got the lead back.
That's 3 in a row for the Lopes. That's great work. Good stuff in transition, passing hard, moving hard, and finishing very well.
These two teams neck and neck, but a lot of lacrosse to still be played. 10:15 remaining. Both teams look off to the scoreboard ominously.
10 minutes is a lot of time in the game of lacrosse, Joe, though.
Oh, it's an eternity, especially if you have the lead.
Absolutely.
We're back at the face-off X. Some GCU fans that are in attendance are loud now on the far sideline. Clark Salami in the draw. He'll flip that one out backwards. And GCU is going to win the draw. They're also going to draw a penalty flag up in the air. Salami to quad a hack at Josh Gruel.
And that follow-through just got Clark in a little bit of trouble, though. Not a bad check, but his stick ended up on the ground and just got tangled up in the feet of the Lopes midfielder, and it will be a 1-minute tripping call, if I'm not mistaken.
So the Lopes right now with a huge opportunity to make this a 2-goal game with 10:07 remaining in the fourth. Barton having a conversation with a much taller referee.
So that's my mistake, Joe. It looks like they called that a push, and it will only be 30 seconds for the Lopes on the extra man opportunity.
So Barton will take it up top the restraining box. DeYoung, deliberate pace. Isaacson will jump up. It'll come to Zadok, though. Back door to Barton. Barton has it knocked down, though.
That's Penn Lukens getting a stick on the ball. Great job in the defensive unit out here.
Lukens doing a great job, and it comes back door now onto the doorstep. Coming around is Farrell, and a great save by Makarov. Farrell trying to go low to high. Makarov had the wicket there waiting for it. A huge kill for Colorado as Salami escapes the restraining area. A dangle for Connor Irving. And one-handed grab by Riley Cole.
A dangle and then a nice little bounce pass to cap it off. It's a good job by Colorado's defense to kill that penalty and get the ball back.
Ben Wharton sends it up top to Ryan Stoll. Stoll with a lacrosse field pass to Graves, who shoots and scores. Doug Graves.
And Joe, I'll tell you, we could see that one from here. There were two GCU defenders in between Sushand and Doug Graves. Great shot, sidearm, off hip. Excellent work for the Buffs.
Graves has had 4 here on the afternoon, all coming in the second half. Electric performance for him.
Seems like Graves has really come into his role as a senior leader this year. I know I've mentioned it before, but didn't necessarily get the time he might have wanted in the last couple of years, and saw his opportunity this year to be an impact player, and he has not hesitated in stepping into that role.
Face-off will be won by Colorado, and they'll control it back. Broken up, though. Knocked right back down. Connor Irvin's got it for the Buffs.
It's a great hustle play by Zane O'Brien as he's being pestered by the other midfielders to maintain possession.
O'Brien will lose it, though, to DiDonatis, who will send it over to Carson Barton. What a play by Luciano DiDonatis. In the near half, it's a quick goal for Dean Farrell. Down on the play, though, it's Tim Mahaney. He looks like he's shaken up. Trainer will run out for GCU with 8:45 remaining in the fourth, though. Farrell has made it his 14-13 game.
And I didn't really see what happened on the injury there, but great job by Grand Canyon in transition, getting the pass to the crease, and whoever finished that, I didn't quite see, Joe, but just a great job of getting that ball in and out of the stick. As
Farrell finishing on the doorstep.
It's a great job.
Goaltender had no chance there on the one-on-one. As it looks like it's the leg. Might be a cramp here on the right leg.
Hopefully it's just a cramp. Means he'll hopefully be able to come back, and nothing serious or season-ending or threatening. Nothing like that, Joe. Hopefully not.
This is a very good field at University of Colorado. I remember that it was very infamous at the MCLA tournament at UC Irvine last year, that there's a lot of players slipping on the, what you could hardly call grass surface. We saw 2 ACLs tear for Colorado against Michigan State. But this field here at Kitt Field, beautiful, actually designed for the Division I women's team, a team that Mitch Fenton is a goalie coach for.
Yes, I was fortunate enough to be asked to come on to the women's varsity program and coach the 3 goalies that they have there, so that's been an exciting way for me to stay around the sport, in addition to calling a couple games with you, Joe.
Join us again on Monday. We'll be Chapman in Colorado. Same live stream address will work out. So make sure to save that on your browser. Or better yet, come down to Kitt Field and watch the game in person. It'll be beautiful temperatures.
And regardless of whatever's happening, Joe, it seems that he is in some serious pain as he started to try and get up and then instantly went back down.
And Tim Mahaney's in a lot of pain right now. His leg is giving him a lot of trouble. I didn't quite see it get crumped up there in the crowded crease, but hopefully he's all right. He is in a lot of pain. I think they're going to try and carry him off. I know that they have a stretcher here at Kitt Field as both teams are now on a knee. And they are going to carry him off. So an applause from both teams and the fans as he comes off the field. We'll keep you updated if we get any injury updates from GCU.
Hopefully it's just a cramp, Joe.
Yeah, hopefully. Our thoughts go out to him. He looked like he was in a lot of pain. We hope he's doing okay. You hate to see that in such a close game. You know that everyone wants to be playing in here.
And you never want to see a game just to come down to an injury to one team or because one player got taken out of the game. It's not in good spirit, and so hopefully we see that Grand Canyon player come back all right.
8:45 remaining in our fourth quarter. 14-13 is our score. GCU has the advantage by 1. Starting to get into that crunch time. This is where the big players need to put on a performance. And it's going to start here in the face-off X. It'll be scooped backwards by Clark Salaman, and he'll pick it up. Huge play for Colorado. Connor Irvin will be chased back. He'll trig it over to the goaltender, Jensen Makarov. Makarov will take it. Makarov will move it himself as GCU will seal off everyone here in the back half. And we're going to get a Colorado timeout, I believe. We're going to get something.
Colorado called offsides.
Quick resume to play is thrown away. Zach can't quite get it. And Colorado with a great comeback play after the offsides call. Take that ball away from Zadek.
Yeah, that's not an offsides call that the Buffs ever want. It's in transition. They have control of the ball, and that's just sloppy, and they did a good job to go out there and get the ball back.
The senior McCannon's going to use his legs to get it over to Riley Cole. Cole will be taken at midfield by DeDonatis. Louis will chase him down. Cole will escape Louis and get over to the near half now to McCannon. McCannon trying to hit Clayton in the slot. And that is about the 4th time this afternoon that John Clayton hasn't been able to just catch the ball.
Great job by Clayton getting himself into position and losing his man, but just trying to shoot before the ball's in his stick and putting it on the ground.
Barton gets it. He'll send it up top to the formation to Lucas DeYoung. 7:30 remaining in the 4th. 1-goal game. Colorado defense needs to stay strong here. Still using that zone formation. Clark has got it for the Lopes. We'll see a deliberate pace, I believe, as long as GCU holds its narrow lead. They've got nothing to rush towards. Clark looks to go inside. He fakes a pass. Zadek.
Some great movement coming from Grand Canyon on the inside here. And there you go.
And a goal from Farrell will make this a 2-goal game with 6:56 remaining here in the 4th.
Great off-ball movement coming. Farrell rotating into that backside money spot and just finishing the shot.
.656 remaining here in our final quarter. 15-13 game. Huge face-off here. Colorado needs this one. Isaacson will line up on the near side with Chris Holland. In the face-off exit will be Trevor Brown and Clark Salami. DeDonatis will line up on the far side. Clark will try to scoop it. It's sent back. Racing forward was, I believe, Keon Reno, who has not seen any field time this afternoon, but he'll come up with it for Colorado. The freshman Keon Reno, a huge play coming on late in this game. He's a very talented guy that I know Coach Galvin is very excited to have in the future, but he's going to put him out there right now in crunch time. Graves from the near side scores! Doug Graves!
Is that 5 on the day for Graves, Joe?
That's 5 on the day for Doug Graves. 15-14.
Excellent work to bring his team back within 1.
Dougie Graves has got 5. I believe that might be a career high. 6:28 remains in our 4th. 1-goal game. Doug Graves has turned it on here in the second half. It was John Clayton who started it off. Graves has taken that torch and ran with it, though, for Colorado. I still see Jace Gann looming on the sideline. You know, if Colorado gets a man-up opportunity, we'll see Gann out here. He wants to make a difference today. Collision will go down. That'll draw a few flags as Zane O'Brien went barreling in to Trevor Brown.
Hard to see what the call was amongst all the chaos there. It could be a legal body check to the head. Really hard to tell as the player was already on his way to the ground, so we'll see what the refs give us here.
So man up for GCU, I believe. Zane O'Brien.
The legal body check for 1 minute, Joe.
So Zane O'Brien will be in the box. 1 minute. This is a huge possession for GCU. 6:22 remaining. There's still some time, but you know that GCU is going to run this clock all the way down, probably into the 5s before they do something. They'll take it right from midfield. It'll be Cody Clark that'll get things going here on the 1 minute penalty. O'Brien just barreling in down low, trying to make an aggressive play, and that's the type of effort you do want to see late in the game, but not at the expense of a penalty. So the man down squad out there for the Buffs. 6:22 remaining in the 4th quarter. Here we go. To be played to the near side. Penn Lukens with the long pole will seal him off. DeYoung gives it up top to Barton. Isaacson will come up on the rotation. It'll come to Zadek. Zadek to the near side. It's Cody Olson. Olson will give it up. Backdoor to DeYoung. DeYoung finds Barton on the doorstep. It goes off the crossbar from Farrell.
It's a great backside look. Colorado's got to do better to take that away.
That one almost snuck home. That one, though, just getting a piece of that orange top post. Barton with some time. About 20 seconds remaining on the 1 minute advantage. Turn around to Olsen. Olsen comes back door. Coming across the formation up top, firing, and he scores. Cody Olsen goes bar down on the man up, and that'll make it 16-14.
Great job by this man up unit. That's a shot they're willing to take. Beat Makarov high and just stung it.
5:32 remaining now in the fourth. 2-goal game in favor of GCU. They were down by 3 in this quarter and have come firing back. I was wondering coming into this fourth, how much would GCU have left in the tank? Well, they've got a lot. But down the stretch, who will it be? GCU's got a 2-goal lead, and they're dominating the face-off X, and they win another one. Holland scoops it up, and the Lopes will advance it again. Holland's got a lot of speed. He's going to be chased down. He's going to take it all the way. Shot, and a good save by Makarov. Holland taking the risk there to just run it through and send it on net. That could have maybe put this one away, but Makarov making a great save. Bad pass, though, for Colorado. It's still free in the offensive half. It's going to be picked up by Wise. Wise is going to come over onto the left side, trying to scoop it free, and this is going to be backed up by Shushan, and this will be GCU ball. Ben Wharton just couldn't get that one home. GCU needs to advance it here. They've got time in their favor as DeYoung brings it over the halfway marker. DeYoung will slow up. He'll slide past 2 guys. 4:43 remaining in the fourth quarter. DeYoung, Cody Clark, Barton comes back to Clark. Clark looks behind at Dean Farrell. A few guys out there for GCU showing a little bit of tired legs as they slow it up. Barton, though, will take it outside again. Clark. Draw a shove from McCannon.
You can see that Colorado has come out of their zone look, and they really can't afford to be in it right now as the clock is against them, and Grand Canyon was showing that they were perfectly content with slowing the ball down and just really using that methodical offense, but instead the Buffs have jumped into their man-to-man look to try and put a little bit more pressure on the ball here late in the game.
Mountain, Barton, DeYoung. Good defense by Red Miller. GCU, though, will slow it down. Looking at the referees for that timer on, and we're going to get it. So a timer on. They've got 30 seconds, are the Lopes. Irvin will pick up Barton. Bart's going to use his speed. He'll come behind to Farrell, who misplays it. It's going to be deflected, so it's going to stay here with GCU, but they've got time winding down on this timer on call with 3:28 remaining in the fourth quarter.
Yes, the timer does not reset after a deflection like that.
Only sends one on net. It was deflected away. But GCU will come up with it. That was a must-need for Colorado, and they didn't get it.
And that pipe will, in fact, reset the clock, and as they score another goal.
Barton will send that one home, and it's 17-14 now in favor of GCU.
Great job by Barton, even as he's falling to the ground, getting his hands away from his body and putting it off hip on Makarov. That's great offense.
3-goal lead now for the Lopes, with 3:12 remaining in the fourth. Does Colorado have a little bit of Kit Field magic here this afternoon, or is GCU going to upset the #1 team in the country at home?
We will find out here shortly, Joe.
Timeout, Colorado. And this is some uncharted territory for the Buffs. Late game down by 3.
Yeah, that last goal is a really important one coming from Barton. The difference between 3 and 2 is actually pretty sizable in lacrosse. 2 goals isn't that hard to come across, but down 3 with 3 minutes left, the Buffs are really going to have to do something special, really push the ball in transition and keep the ball moving in order to come back in this game.
.312 remaining in the fourth. Make sure to send in your tweets to @JoeParis and @Mitchie_Bags. Player of the game nominations are coming in. Still a little bit of time left, though. Who's going to be the hero this afternoon?
Let us know who you think it should be.
correction on the injury. It actually wasn't Tim Mahaney. He's at home tweeting. It was actually Eli Sason who was taken off. I haven't seen Sason since that point. Those two swap jersey numbers on our roster.
Interesting roster conundrums we've had here today, Joe.
Hopefully we don't have them on Monday. Yeah. Make sure to join us, though, on Monday. Colorado will take on Chapman University. 1 p.m. at Kit Field if you're in the area, or, of course, online worldwide on livestream.com. 3:12 remaining in the fourth. Can Colorado pull something out here? They're getting desperate. They trail by 3 with 3 minutes remaining. Biggest face-off of the game. Salami will send it forward, but Holland will do a great job to scoop it up for the Lopes. He'll advance it over into the offensive half. It'll be a waiting game now for GCU. Colorado's going to have to be aggressive. Carson Barton knows the situation. He's going to tread outwards. He's calling for Farrell to come towards him. Buffs are going to have to start chasing here in a second. We'll see if Makarov comes out of the crease to help. 2:48 remaining here in the fourth. Buffs need the ball.
Coach Galvin, a guy who always has a little trick up his sleeve for these situations if he needs to get the ball back. So let's see what the Buffs throw at him here.
Clark's got it. Clark using his legs to get out of town. It's 2:30 remaining now in the fourth. Zadek will ease away. We'll see if we get a timer on call here in a minute. Farrell at X.
You can hear the fans calling for the timer on call.
Clark looks to Barson. Comes at Zadek. 2:06 remaining now. Zadek will work around Connor Irving. Timer on is now called, so 1:58 remaining. So at 1:28, it will be the 30-second count. Carson Barton's got it up top. He'll tread lightly to the left side. St. O'Brien will chase him down, comes behind now to Farrell. 1:44 remaining in the fourth. Coming around the corner is Farrell. Farrell wanted a shot and said he'll dangle outside. He'll send it on the ground to Barton. Barton will take it all the way off into the corner. He'll pretend to lay it down, and that'll be the 30-second timer. So GCU electing just to take off all the time instead of going for a shot. 1:26 remaining here in the fourth. Colorado needs 3 goals. Zane O'Brien. Zoom past Barton, and here comes Colorado. They need to shoot quickly with 1:15 remaining now. It's Wise. Graves isolates. Looks over to Snell. 1:05 remaining in this game. Colorado's got to do something here.
Wasting a lot of time without getting a shot off here on offense.
58 seconds and counting. Here comes Ryan Stoll. Still trying to get through to Clayton, who underhands it wildly wide. Backing up, though, is Hart Wise. 45 seconds remaining. Shot on net from Snell is off the mark. It'll stick with Colorado. 45.5 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Wharton's got it for the Buffs. He'll send it over to Stoll up top. Snell. Graves has got to fire it. He does. He scores! So Doug Graves will make this 17-15 with 38.9. That'll be Dougie's 6th goal on the afternoon.
Senior really stepping up for his team. Great job from Graves. Low-to-low shot. Probably through a little bit of traffic and just beat Sushan low.
The Buffs are going to need a win and score really quickly off the face-off X. They've had trouble all afternoon, though. And coming in to take it is going to be Tommy Exarchus. He hasn't taken a draw all afternoon. He's going to get his first right now. This may be the biggest one of his life.
See what he can do with it.
The junior out there right now. 38.9 remaining. Tommy will wrap up. He'll fall on top of it. It'll be scooped free, and GCU's got it. Colorado's going to have to chase. It's broken up by Salami, and he's going to chase with it. He gets pushed. No call. And it will be Barton who comes up with it. He's going to be chased down. 26 seconds remaining, and it looks like GCU may be able to run away with this one. We're going to get a referee's whistle, and I believe we might get a timeout.
He dropped it!
Some confusion on the field right now for what the whistle is. Both teams walking back to their benches as if it is a timeout, and it appears that's what it is. A big no call right here on the near side of the field that allowed Carton Barson to Carson Barton.
Carson Barton.
That is hard. Carson Barton to advance it up the field. 21.4 remaining. Colorado down 2.
And look for Colorado to come out here in a double team just to do anything they can to get the ball away and hopefully move it downfield for another look.
And Mitch, I don't remember anything like this in Colorado lacrosse last few years, a situation like this.
You know, we were down 1 goal late to Michigan State last year in the regular season game that we dropped to them, and it was a similar situation. Not as high scoring. That game ended up 11-10. Great job by Michigan State to come out here and beat us on our home field, but this is a high scoring endeavor. Down by 2 late is not a situation you see the Buffs in a lot. Even in the games that they lose, it's usually a 1-goal contest. So we'll see what they can do. Like you said, might be a little too much, a little too late. As you see Jensen Makarov actually on the offensive side of the field here, and this is what we were talking about. They're probably going to send another short stick over from the attack side so that the Buffs effectively have 7 defenders on that side of the field.
Colorado needs something special here. The GCU sideline is fired up.
And you see Connor Irvin and Clark Salami, 2 of the most talented pulls from this Colorado sideline, out to start on the ball and see if they can get the ball back.
So Colorado with an empty net. Makarov here on the offensive end. He'll race over as soon as that ball is sent in. It'll be Zadek for the GCU Lopes. He'll draw the double team right away. Clark will swing at him. 120 to go. A lot of speed here. Quick player is Zadek. Zadek's just got to fire this one home, and that'll do it. And it's poked away at the last second. It's going to come out of bounds. It'll stick here with GCU. There's only 10 ticks remaining. Zadek's got it. He'll put it in front, and Barton will score, and that will do it.
And Barton looking like he just wanted to put up another goal on the day. Nothing wrong with that, but certainly not a shot he needed to take. Probably could have just run around with the ball to close it out, but a great game from the Lopes here as they will walk away with a victory today, Joe.
They will knock off the #1 team in the country. This will be the first loss for Colorado since that long time ago against ASU here at home.
Yeah, crazy when you put it like that.
About a year ago.
Wow. Well, great job again from Grand Canyon, coming in, taking down CSU and Colorado, 2 top-ranked opponents, and just a great, great weekend for them. Can't say enough about it.
It'll be interesting to see in the polls this weekend, or this next week, who's going to come out on top. Colorado will win the draw. A little too late, though, as time will expire here this afternoon. GCU wins. Final score 18-15. What a performance on Thursday and now on Saturday from GCU, knocking off CSU and CU, arguably the toughest road trip in the entire league. Colorado will go back to the drawing board. They'll take on Chapman on Monday. They'll get tomorrow off. Mitch, a spectacular game, though, this afternoon. High competition level. GCU was the better team this afternoon. They deserve this victory. Colorado has a lot of adjustments to make going into Monday's game.
Yeah, certainly, and it's really tough to pinpoint any one thing that could have gone wrong for either team. Obviously, the Buffs, missing Kerry Garfinkel and Jay Scan, it hurts them on offense, but they still were able to put up 15 goals. So you got to think that that's not necessarily the discussion that they're going to be having after this game and looking forward to Chapman. Maybe looking to keep a couple more goals from the opponents off the scoreboard, forcing them to take those outside shots and not giving as much up on the inside.
Our encore player of the game is going to go to Dean Farrell. Farrell sending home numerous goals this afternoon was the difference. He and Carson Barton, I mean, really, they pushed that. They willed this team through. This team was down 3 goals late, but they took it the length. And Brandon Shushan, again, making so many big saves. I mean, a lot that you forget about in that first half. Colorado could not break through in that first quarter, and Shushan is the difference again this afternoon. But our encore player of the game goes to Dean Farrell. Congratulations, Dean. A fantastic performance, not only this afternoon, but back on Thursday. He had 7 goals back on Thursday. But a fun matchup, to say the least. Colorado will drop their first of the year. Again, the first time since they lost to Arizona State last year during the regular season. I believe that was a late February game, if I'm correct.
Late February, early March, so about a year, like you said, Joe. And it's important for teams to remember what it feels like to lose. Colorado coming off of a national championship victory, undefeated coming into the game. And, you need something like that. I would argue that last year, part of the reason we were successful in the national championship was because we had lost to Michigan State and Arizona State previously. It gives you a little bit of a chip on your shoulder. So the Buffs have something to play for now. They'll probably slip a little bit in the rankings, but you've heard it before. Coach Galvin doesn't necessarily enjoy that #1 ranking. puts a big target on your back. So great job by Grand Canyon to come out here today and knock off the #1 team, and good luck to them for the rest of the season.
And we'll get you some final stats here on the afternoon. Of course, GCU, the big stat, 18-15 our final score. Shots on goal, Colorado won that category. Colorado had 34, GCU 31. Shooting percentage this afternoon, a 55% shooting percentage for the GCU Lopes. That is very, very impressive. Fast break goals also in favor of GCU. They had 5 off of those continued win faceoffs. The faceoff category was all GCU. They won 23-11 in the faceoff X. That win percentage goes 68-32 in favor of GCU. The clears this afternoon were very even. 31 for GCU, 30 for Colorado. First turnovers, 14 forced turnovers on Colorado, 7 unforced. And on the other end, GCU, a very clean game, 5 forced turnovers, 2 unforced turnovers. A very fun game this afternoon. Again, congratulations to Dean Farrell for winning our Encore Player of the Game. Your final score from Boulder, GCU 18, Colorado 15. Alongside Mitch Fenton, I'm Joe Paris. We will be back with you on Monday afternoon when Colorado will take on the Chapman Panthers. That game, a huge game. Chapman will come in ranked number 4 in the country. GCU, who came into this afternoon ranked number 5, will definitely scoot up in those rankings. It'll be curious, though, what we'll see in the coming week. But thank you to everyone for joining us from around the country. It was a fun afternoon. Big shout out to our crew here in Boulder, Colorado. Derek Michelson, Joey Prechtel, and Ansley Guthrie on camera. It was a fun one. Again, alongside Mitch Fenton, I'm Joe Paris. Final score from Kitfield, GCU 18, Colorado 15. Enjoy the rest of your beautiful Saturday afternoon. We will talk to you Monday. Take care and make sure to stay tuned on Facebook.com and Twitter as well for all your Colorado men's lacrosse action.